20-yarder on 4th.
The following is a product of Studio 42.
I'm not believing what I am seeing. With 3:53 left to go, Howe takes the lead.
From Studio 42, this is Howe Bulldogs football.
Cross on the jet sweep, trying to break away 30. Look out, 25. He's fast. 15, 10, 5. Kiss him goodbye. Touchdown time in Texas.
Howe Bulldogs football is brought to you by Scoggins Funeral Home, Baker Air Conditioning and Heating, South State Bank, GCEC, Sonic of Howe.
Knox leaps and bounds into the end zone for a 20-yarder on 4th and 1. Quit it.
Also brought to you by Brother Plumber, Rock Hill Investments, MTE Fence, Centurion American, Ed Meacham State Farm, Rapid Electric.
Home run ball cross, wide open. 35. He's gone. You're not going to catch him. It's touchdown time in Texas. 67 yards and another strike.
Put his foot in the ground, went to the right side, and there was nobody in the stadium going to catch him.
Also brought to you by All-In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights, TechWave, First Baptist Church of Howe, Kingdom Inflatables, Anchor's Boat, and RV Storage, The Love Cottage.
It's really the line. When you have 4 cut blocks that leave 4 linemen on the ground, I mean, that's easy work. That's a 75-yarder all day long.
Also brought to you by Howe Athletic Booster Club, Michelle Carney Photography, Texoma Land and Home Team, the Crazy AC Guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is football time in Texas.
Now let's open the Rapid Electric tailgate party and join the voice of the Howe Bulldogs, Monty Walker.
Finally, dogs. Howe will officially turn the page tonight and distance themselves from 2 consecutive 3-7 seasons and an offseason that made national news and not in the right way. Insert new head coach Jake Smith and his discipline and toughness attitude and motto. He's the 3rd head coach in as many seasons. The reformation process hit the ground running upon his arrival a week into July. And speaking of hitting the ground running, the Dogs welcome back Knox Bounds, who looks to carry the Dogs to the first playoff dance in 3 years. The Bulldogs desperately need stability, as Deacon Bender will be Howe's 3rd quarterback in as many seasons. Ryland Strong will move to the receiver position and is expected to make big plays along with speedster Ryken Cross. With the stars on offense, it starts up front with 4 returning offensive linemen led by Large Marge Ingram. Offensively, this team can cook, but the questions are on the defensive side of the ball. Howe created 7 turnovers in the 2 scrimmages, and if that's any indicator, the football season could stretch past the first scheduled basketball game. The Dogs are looking to start the season on the right track tonight against Boyd, who's coming off a 1-9 record. It's Howe versus Boyd, and it's football time in Texas.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric tailgate party.
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president.
Give me a break.
You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100.
If your home or business could talk, what would it say? It may say it would like some privacy or security. Enjoy the beauty and durability of quality fencing from MTE Fence. MTE Fence is a local company specializing in commercial and residential fencing. MTE Fence ranges from wood, aluminum, and chain link fencing. MTE Fence services all of Grayson County and surrounding areas. Go to mtefence.com or call 903-686-9039 for an estimate. MTE Fence has a passion for connection. We are your connection for quality.
All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights is proud to sponsor the Pride of Howe High School's Bandsman of the Week. Your hometown Bulldog alumni owned and operated business is here for all your seamless gutter and outdoor Christmas lights needs. Give them a call at 903-819-9183 and let them make your house shine really bright this Christmas. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Give them a call at 903-819-9183. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights.
This is Bulldogs head coach Jake Smith, and it didn't take me long to get to know where Sonic of Howe is. After practice or games, I like to head down to 105 North Collins Freeway, grab a burger, tots, and a shake. As a matter of fact, I like to say, it's Sonic time in Texas.
Yeah, Coach, that's kind of my thing.
Oh, okay. How about Sonic really brings the hammer down?
Coach, that's kind of my thing.
With Sonic, I'm highly motivated, truly dedicated.
Yeah, Coach, that's another one of my lines.
How about this? It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Yeah, I like that.
Hey, Steve here, the Crazy AC Guy. We raise top-notch AC units and train the finest service techs west of the Mississippi. And we got a truly crazy deal for you. Get a free furnace with the purchase of a qualified AC condenser coil package. You'd have to be crazy like me to miss this deal. So for all your AC and electrical needs, call us at 903-465-2665 or visit us at crazyacguy.com.
The Crazy AC Guy, where crazy meets quality.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Let's join Monty Walker with the MTE Fence Senior Spotlight.
This week's Senior Spotlight is Garrett Rogers. Now, you started kindergarten here at Howe. What do you remember about that year, and do you remember who your teacher was?
I don't remember who my teacher was, but I remember all my friends. They still all go here pretty much.
Do you have one memory in particular about elementary school?
Playing football in recess.
Now, your grandfather was a Bulldog running back. Does he ever give you pointers on how to run the ball?
Yeah, I mean, he always says he's better, but not really pointers.
Do you have a favorite teacher?
Yeah, I would say probably Coach Nipton's class right now.
What about a favorite coach?
Probably Coach Nipton.
All right. You play a lot of baseball. Maybe that's why Coach Nitson. Which one is your favorite? Football, baseball? Which one would you pick?
I had to choose. I'd choose baseball.
And why baseball?
I have the most fun doing it.
You've got a twin brother, Gavin, also. How has that been growing up with a twin?
It makes sports easier. Always have someone to work with, like baseball throwing. We can always throw together. Football, we can play catch. It gives me something to always do.
You're listening to the MTE Fence Senior Spotlight with Garrett Rogers. We'll be right back.
If your home or business could talk, what would it say? It may say it would like some privacy or security. Enjoy the beauty and durability of quality fencing from MTE Fence. MTE Fence is a local company specializing in commercial and residential fencing. MTE Fence ranges from wood, aluminum, and chain link fencing. MTE Fence services all of Grayson County and surrounding areas. Go to mtefence.com or call 903-686-9039 for an estimate. MTE Fence has a passion for connection. We are your connection for quality.
We're joined with Garrett Rogers on the MTE Fence Senior Spotlight. You got a brand new head coach with a new direction. What kind of changes has he made so far?
I feel like our mentality has changed. We're want to know every rep, trying to win every rep.
What does DAT mean?
Discipline and toughness.
So is that kind of taken over around here?
Yeah, everybody says it.
Is there any difference in the team culture this season than last year?
Yeah, I feel like we're more hungry and motivated to actually win this year, and we know we can be good.
So senior year, what's the expectations for this team?
I go game by game, but I hope to make playoffs, maybe even win one or two.
As a senior, how do you show your leadership on this team?
I know everybody, all the underclassmen look up, so I know if I act right, they're going to act right.
Last year at Boyd, things never really got on track. 45-minute lightning delay disrupted the start, and things never really got clicking after that. What do you recall from that game?
Yeah, I remember we were getting ready to go out. We were walking, and then we got to the field. They said lightning delay. We were all mad and went back to the locker room and had no energy.
So you know there's a chance of rain Friday, and hopefully let's not have some lightning.
Yeah.
And so completely different season, different mindset. You've seen Boyd on film, I'm sure. What do you expect to see from them?
From film, they've passed a lot, run a lot of RPOs, which they're watching the Valley View film from us. They probably are going to start off passing a lot.
That's the MTE Fence Senior Spotlight with Garrett Rogers.
Tonight's Senior Spotlight has been brought to you by MTE Fence. You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president.
Give me a break.
You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100. Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Main line break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs.
At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs.
No one wants to talk about losing a loved one. The grief that is put on your family is troublesome. Scoggins Funeral Home strives to make that most difficult time the easiest. We want your loved one to be sent off in the best way possible, with your wishes at heart. Call us at 903-482-5225 or visit our website at scogginsfuneralhome.com. 903-482-5225. Our location on Van Alstyne Parkway makes everything close for your needs. 903-482-5225. Scoggins Funeral Home.
Hey, Steve here, the Crazy AC Guy. We raise top-notch AC units and train the finest service techs west of the Mississippi. And we got a truly crazy deal for you. Get a free furnace with the purchase of a qualified AC condenser coil package. You'd have to be crazy like me to miss this deal. So for all your AC and electrical needs, call us at 903-465-2665 or visit us at crazyacguy.com.
The Crazy AC Guy, where crazy meets quality.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Let's join Monty Walker with the Rock Hill Investments Coach's Corner with Bulldogs head coach Jake Smith.
All right, Coach, first of all, welcome to Howe. Tell us how it came about that Howe was able to land you here.
So I was sitting around at home in Ennis, Texas, and I got a phone call from our defensive coordinator who just recently retired. His name's Paul Willingham. He was good friends with Andy Sellers back in the day when Mr. Sellers was coaching defensive line for him at Ennis in the early 2000s and late 90s. He called me and asked if I'd be interested with the new position that came open. And then before you know it, is probably maybe half a day or a day later, Kevin Wilson, the superintendent, was calling and asking me if I wanted to come interview on a Monday. And so I took advantage of that.
Well, Coach, tell us about your background. Where'd you grow up and where do you call home?
So I grew up in the great state of Oklahoma, so I call home Deer Creek. I graduated from Deer Creek High School, home of the Antlers, pretty unique mascot, but we're one of the kind down there in Deer Creek. It's a successful program. Went to several semifinal appearances and won a state championship in 2000. Then now they're 6A school, but they're just a little bit 3A school whenever I went there. So I call home Oklahoma, but really kind of laid my roots in Texas and Ennis. I've had some stops kind of all over, all the way from Houston to Anna to Van Alstyne, back to Ennis. And then when I was coaching in Oklahoma, I coached at Bishop McGinnis Catholic High School, went home for 1 year at Deer Creek High, and then I coached at the University of Central Oklahoma for 2.5 years before becoming a defensive coordinator at a 2A school in Luther, Oklahoma.
So the all-important question, growing up in Oklahoma, for you, was it OU or OSU?
Oklahoma State, proud alum, go Pokes.
Oh, man, okay. Being the assistant head coach in Ennis under Sam Harrell had to be quite the experience. How much influence has he had on you as a person and as a coach?
I'd probably say more as a person. I'm really kind of forever indebted to Coach Harrell. You know, Sambo, he really kind of treats you the way how you want to be treated, and he's a man of faith, especially the walk that he's had in his life with having MS and the things that he's had to go through. He really taught you to show up and work hard every day when you look across and you see a man that can no longer walk and he has to coach from electric scooter or his golf cart, and he shows up and works hard every single day. Whenever you're not feeling very good, you just kind of have a constant reminder of what toughness really does truly look like. And also just being able to how to treat kids. The biggest thing that he told me is, when you get hired late in July and how you're not going to be able to change everything for this year, but the most important thing you can do is you can get the kids to understand how to play the game and also know that you love them. So you just need to pour into those kids, and that's great advice that you probably give anybody, but most importantly, when you get hired late in July, it really kind of puts into perspective what's really important in athletics.
Now, going from a big school like Ennis to Howe, has that required somewhat of an adjustment for you with the kids, the type of kids you have?
I think not necessarily much of an adjustment. One thing that Coach Hurl always told me, he said, don't chase A's. Just go get a job where you feel like the administration is going to support you and you've got kids that are going to work hard for you and allow you to be successful in the community and also on the field. So really kind of chasing A's, that was kind of ingrained in me a long time ago, that, kids are kids. And really the biggest adjustment is just the amount of coaches you have on staff, and then going down and coaching junior high and high school. How do you divide your day up? How do you practice offense and defense from day to day? And then also, how do you manage the number of kids that you have in a different way because you have a smaller staff?
You're listening to the Rock Hill Investments Coaches Corner with Howe head coach Jake Smith. We'll be right back. Tonight's Bulldogs football is brought to you by Noble Ridge, right here in Howe, just off Highway 75 at Summit Hill Parkway and walking distance to Summit Hill Elementary. Noble Ridge is our hometown's newest master plan community, featuring new homes from the nation's top builders, plus trails, parks, and family-friendly amenities. Developed by Rock Hill Capital Investments, a trusted North Texas developer with thriving communities in Salina, Sherman, and across the region. Noble Ridge is proud to call Howe home. Learn more at NobleRidgeTX.com. That's NobleRidgeTX.com. You're listening to the Rock Hill Investments Coaches Corner with Howe head coach Jake Smith. Coach, let's talk football now. You've had a chance to get the staff in place. Tell us the new faces and who they are and who's left over from last year.
So the new faces, we have Coach Todd. He's our head boys basketball coach. He also helps us on the defense side of the ball. Really kind of like mainly he's an operations guy. He helps me out on the administrative side in athletics. Then his first assistant is Coach Novak. He's going to help out with junior high football. Then Coach Cromwell, he's our offensive line coach. Coach Gallardo, we call him Coach Guac. He's a defensive line coach. It was pretty awesome to be able to hire someone that played for me at Van Alstyne. And then Coach Barnes is our offensive coordinator. He's coming to us from White Wright, Texas, where they had some success in year 2. They were able to flip that program around and had some success, which is exciting to have someone that's been at a small school where they got to be in part of the rebuilding process. Then the guys that decided to stay and give me a chance and also stick with the kids is Coach Rowland. He's still doing D-line. Coach Hamill's our quarterback's coach. Coach Blanton will still do the wide receivers. Then Cody Nitson and Winston Moss will be tag teaming the secondary.
Offensively, you're going with sophomore quarterback Deacon Bender. Rylan Strong was a quarterback last year. He's a junior. How did that transpire? I mean, everybody knew that Deacon Bender was a great athlete coming through the ranks. So talk about how that came about.
Well, it took me about 2 days, really. July 8th and July 9th, those were my first 2 days on the job. It didn't take me very long to realize that I think Deacon Bender, he can grasp things offensively. He's more cerebral. He's got a live enough arm to get the ball out in space, and the style of offense that we play with the different variations of tempo and how we like to spread the field and make the defense defend sideline to sideline. We felt like that Rylan Strong, who was the quarterback last year, he's really gifted and talented in space, and being able to get the ball out to him as quickly as possible in different ways, whether he's lining up in the backfield, we're pitching it to him or throwing it to him. He can be a vertical and a horizontal threat for us, which is going to open it up for our other wide receivers, Eli Stoner and Riken Cross.
Offensively, you've got just about everything you need, it appears. An experienced offensive line, really good skill players. What should Bulldog fans expect to see tonight from your offense?
Well, tonight, really what they should expect is with the experience up front on the offensive line, we're going to try to establish the run early and often. We pride ourselves on playing a physical brand of football. And so, yes, we will throw the football, but we're going to try to establish the run early to allow us to really send a message early on, and then also be able to throw the ball downfield vertical.
Defensively, I guess, has been the question coming into the season, although you had a really great scrimmage against Eustis with 5 turnovers created. It's harder to predict for fans defensively. What are your thoughts on the defense?
Well, defensively, we've been doing a really good job of playing really hard, and we surprisingly a lot more physical than what I thought we would be whenever I first got here in July. Any given time, we got 8, 9, 10, or 11 hats around the football, and they're being really physical. But most importantly, they've been really conscious of taking the ball away, and we preach to the kids that possession of the football is the most important part of this program. And that's why we're coming out of fall camp pretty excited, where we've had 2 scrimmages where we've created 7 turnovers. And I don't know if we had 7 turnovers total last year whenever I was watching film. So I feel really good about that. We've got some good older kids that are taking advantage of their time that they have and teaching these kids to take away the ball. And that's we hope tonight. Our goal is to have 3 takeaways every night.
Y'all have talked a lot about reimagining the culture around here. And do you see that taking place at this time?
I really do. The culture is discipline and toughness, and it's really kind of starting to bleed into the program. And you're seeing other sports that have T-shirts with the DAT logo on it. It's all over town, and people talk about it. All the old heads are coming up, and they're talking about DAT, and also the standard of max effort every single rep. We're seeing kids practice really hard. We changed up the way how we practice, where we can utilize our JV and their talents and be able to develop those younger kids. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it at a faster response than what we anticipated, and it's really exciting.
One last question. You're reimagining also the uniform look. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I really, those uniforms were kind of purchased before I got the job. But we're going with something a little different, going to try to start a little tradition here. When I first took the job, I saw that there was a script dog, so with the banner on a helmet, and then I couldn't find one that had the city of Howe on it. And, with everybody being so proud from Howe, there's so many people that have graduated from here, and when they went off to college or the workforce, they found their way coming back home. And so, we're coaching generational children, and so being able to put the city of Howe on the side of our helmet with 3 stripes, I think was pretty important to me. And, I think it's going to be a clean look, and hopefully it's a tradition to last for a while.
The Coach's Corner has been brought to you by Rock Hill Investments. You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president.
Give me a break.
You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at MrRedInsurance.com.
Anchors with a Z Boat and RV Storage is located 1 mile off of U.S. Highway 75 in Howe, Texas. Anchors Boat and RV Storage is proud to bring personal, small-town customer service to the growing area of North Texas. With both open and covered parking available, locally owned and operated, members of the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce and the Texas Self-Storage Association. Anchors Boat and RV Storage has 20 amp power available and is manager occupied at 311 Old Highway 6 in Howe. Visit anchorsboatrvstorage.com or call 903-444-2500.
From tailgate to touchdown, South State is here to ensure your financial game plan leads you to victory. With cutting-edge digital tools like contactless payment, digital wallet, and more, your financial plays become seamless and convenient. As your trusted banking partner, South State is committed to supporting you every step of the way, providing expert guidance and dedicated assistance on your financial journey. This is Banking Forward, South State Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, Steve here, the Crazy AC Guy. We raise top-notch AC units and train the finest service techs west of the Mississippi. And we got a truly crazy deal for you. Get 0% financing for 60 months for any qualified air conditioning and heating system. You'd have to be crazy like me to miss this deal. So for all your AC and electrical needs, call us at 903-465-2665 or visit us at crazyacguy.com.
The Crazy AC Guy, where crazy meets quality.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Today's Howe Bulldogs Flux Capacitor is brought to you by the Crazy AC Guy. Now let's join Monty Walker with a time travel through Bulldogs history.
With last year's loss to end the season, the Bulldogs are under 500 as a program for the first time since the 7th game in school history, November 8th, 1935. Howe now sports a 400 and 401 overall record. Howe is 47, 31, and 3 on opening nights. However, they are 11 and 14 since 2000. Maybe the biggest opening night win came 3 years ago in Honey Grove when the Bulldogs snapped a 22-game losing streak with a 20-15 win over the Warriors. Tonight marks the 23rd anniversary of the first time Howe ever played a game in August. It happened with a 26-6 loss to Honey Grove at Bulldog Stadium in 2002. Only 3 other games have been played on August the 29th. Howe lost at Honey Grove 31-22 in 2003. Defeated Blue Ridge 49-14 at home as Howe legend L.B. Kirby flipped on the victory light and reinitiated the long-standing tradition. The last game played on this date was in 2014 when the Dogs unveiled their slot T offense at Bonham and won 14-8 in a lightning-delayed game. The Dogs have not played well against Boyd since the series began in 1998. Howe is 1-5 in the series against Boyd and 1-3 at Bulldog Stadium. The lone win came in 2010 when Howe won at home 47-20 behind 2 touchdown passes from Chase Fontaine. The last meeting at Bulldog Stadium occurred in 2019 when the Yellowjackets stung Howe 34-7. Last season, Boyd ran all over Howe, 44-13. Howe's first ever matchup with Boyd came in the 3rd round of the playoffs in 1998, where the Yellowjackets defeated the Dogs 28-13 at Pennington Field in Bedford.
Today's Howe Bulldogs Flux Capacitor is brought to you by the Crazy AC Guy. You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
What's up, guys? It's Ridley Carter. I'm a senior cross country and long distance track runner.
This is Riley McCollum, senior basketball player and leading strikeout softball pitcher.
I'm Dylan Patterson, graduating football player and powerlifter.
I'm Ayla Jones, class of 2026 volleyball player.
We would like to thank the Howe Athletic Booster Club for the support of Howe student athletes and encourage anyone interested in helping to join.
Go Dogs!
From tailgate to touchdown, South State is here to ensure your financial game plan leads you to victory. With cutting-edge digital tools like contactless payment, digital wallet, and more, your financial plays become seamless and convenient. As your trusted banking partner, South State is committed to supporting you every step of the way, providing expert guidance and dedicated assistance on your financial journey. This is Banking Forward, South State Bank, member FDIC.
It's that time of year again where our beloved radio guy won't shut his trap about how hot it is up here in the press box. Thankfully, the good people at Baker Air Conditioning and Heating cool this thing down in no time.
Roger, we're dying over here.
Speaking of hot air, there he is. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been serving the community of Howe for nearly 60 years. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating is located on Highway 5, and you can call them at 903-532-6255.
Roger!
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president.
Give me a break.
You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100.
From Studio 42, this is Howe Bulldogs football. You've been listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Football time in Texas is just moments away. Now, with a call of the game, here's the voice of the Howe Bulldogs, Monty Walker.
Finally, dogs. Finally. Howe in their opener, and we've got a brand new look, Justin White, as you join us for another season.
Loving the all-white look here.
I don't recall ever seeing Howe wear white at home. If you wanted a change, if this program ever needed a change, and a lot has happened since we signed off last year against Blue Ridge, well, there's one way to do it. You have a new coach. You have some new faces. You have a new coaching staff. You have a new offensive coordinator. And you have your team come out in white pants, white jerseys, and a white helmet, completely opposite of what it normally is around Bulldog Stadium.
And that may be what the Bulldogs need, especially these players. They like to dress nice and look sharp with their uniforms, and having this start out the first game of the season in the all-white, the icy look.
That is clean.
Well, and not to mention they also walked up to the on the dog walk this year, and that was new as well.
They did have the dog walk, which was pretty impressive. Jake Roberts, welcome back for another year. This is year number
6, yeah.
6 for Jake Roberts.
What year is this for you?
In Howe?
Well, overall, I guess, either one.
30.
Put you on the spots here.
32. This is 32nd season.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So long. Hey, I was Malin's age just about when I started this gig, and I was doing sidelines.
Like father, like son.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we went and talked to the officials earlier, and they said, "Hey, is this a father-son combo here?" I said, "Yeah. You know, he's in his second year. We're trying him out. I'm not sure if Malin's down there just yet." I think he is. Let's talk to Malin for the first time. Hey, we've got a new sponsor for the Sideline Report this year. It's the Love Cottage. And very ironic for Malin, Mr. Loverboy down there, Mr. Good Looks. Matter of fact, Joey McQueen, our former coach at the community pep rally, said, "Man, he's better looking and way better looking than you." Malin, what do you expect from this season?
Hey, listen, first off, I just want to say I know I'm your son, but you don't got to hype me up that much. This is an amazing day to play some high school football. You wouldn't dream of this kind of weather even in late October. It's 76 right now, low wind, 8 miles an hour coming out of the east. There is no excuse to have some high-power, high-octane football this Friday night.
Hey, what do you think about them white uniforms?
I'm in love. They're so
I'm
clean.
with you there. Yeah, they look good.
I am shocked at how much I really, really like those.
Well, and I was, when you told me about it, I thought, I know Monty's a Bulldog purist.
Yes.
And so I didn't know how you would take that, or other Bulldog purists.
I was not happy when they were changing helmets from black to white. I'll just be honest. I was not. I mean, that's a tradition, and I'm all about tradition. But let me tell you what, the Howe on the Howe in cursive with the what do you call it, the banner underneath on the side of the helmet, just like on your screen right there. That's on the side of their helmet. That is a really good look, and you can brand that to where you can wear it on the front of your baseball uniforms and everything else. So Really good look. So let's go over the starting lineups for you, if we can. It's brought to you by First Baptist Church of Howe. Justin, do you want to start off? And I'll let you pick whichever way you want to go. Just start off with Boyd, either way.
Okay, let's just start off on the defense. They're running a 3-4 defense. Up front is a sophomore defensive tackle, Brylan Nobles. At nose tackle is Garrett Slimp. He's a junior.
And he's back after taking a season off last year.
Garrett Slimp, that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bexer Hornsby is a junior. He's at the other defensive tackle.
So is that Bexer or is that Behar?
You know what? That may be Behar or Bear.
Bear?
Yeah, I think.
Like the county?
Yeah, like county.
It's spelled Bexar.
Yeah, that's probably Bear Hornsby. Outside linebackers, Aiden Young. Middle linebackers are Jess Withers and Nathan Vaden. Withers is a returning starter from last year. Maddox Parks, the other outside linebacker, he's a senior. And go back to Vaden at middle linebacker. He is a freshman, only freshman on this defense. In the secondary, at cornerback is Leighton Wheeler. He's a junior. The other cornerback is Cash Selby. He's a senior. The free safety is Drew Brinkley, a sophomore. And then everything for Boyd is strong safety, senior Hunter Eder, had 51 tackles last season. That's their starting defense for the Boyd Yellowjackets.
So for Howe on offense, again, this is brought to you by First Baptist Church of Howe. A new offensive coordinator is Jordan Barnes. He spent some time in Van Alstyne, came over from Whitewright. The left tackle is Dylan Patterson. He's a senior. The left guard, the only non-returning starter, Bryce Baker. He's a junior. Center Aiden Torres comes back for his senior year. Right guard, Large Marge Will Ingram. He's a senior. The right tackle, Jacob Griffo. He's a junior. The wide receivers tonight will be Eli Stoner and Rylan Strong, the quarterback from last year. He's now a junior, and they've moved him to wide receiver. You have a tight end named Van Derrick when a tight end is on the field. Slot receiver, Ryken Cross. Russ last year for 71 yards on 10 carries. He also caught 31 balls for 452. He's fast. He scored 4 through the air a year ago. He's a junior. The running back, welcome back, Knox Bounds, and he could be the heart and soul of this offense. 97 carries 2 years ago, 548 yards and 5 touchdowns. He did have 3 fumbles, so you got to watch that. Coach Jake Smith says that's the heart and soul of our football team, is taking care of the football. And here are the Howe Bulldogs in all white tonight. For the first time I can ever recall, they have flipped the script, and it's all white, not black tonight. So the quarterback, the reason Rylan Strong is split out wide and will do some dirty work in the backfield as well, Deacon Bender, the sophomore, looks to be a 3-year starter here, this being his first. And he has been highly touted through the ranks for several years now, and we'll get our first glimpse at Deacon Bender, who will wear number 11 at the quarterback position. Jake Smith is the head coach. He was the assistant head coach for Ennis under Texas high school football legendary coach Sam Harrell. He's originally from Deer Creek, Oklahoma. He's an OSU grad. He's had stops in Houston, Anna, Van Alstyne, Ennis, Bishop McGinnis, Deer Creek, back at his hometown, University of Central Oklahoma, and he was the DC at Luther, Oklahoma. The offensive coordinator, as we mentioned, is Jordan Barnes. Quarterback coach Todd Hamill. The offensive line coach Jonathan Cromwell. Receivers Devin Blanton. And junior high is Travis Novak. The defensive line, Brian Rowland and Jacob Gallardo. They call him Coach Guac. They combined for the D-line. The D-backs are coached by Cody Nitson and Winston Moss collectively. And the head basketball coach, Michael Todd, he helps out administratively, and he's also here on the scene. New athletic trainer this year, long gone or going to be severely missed, is Ricky Ake, been here for 37 years. But Mark Stein, the new athletic trainer, and the manager is Lane Hance.
All right, let's go over the Boyd offense. I think we're about to have the national anthem soon. I'll go ahead and
go.
All right. Left tackle is Braxton Reesner. He's a senior. At left guard is Noah Rowland. He's a sophomore. At center, Corbin Garcia, senior. Right guard is Dylan McLaughlin. He's a senior. And then right tackle is Brody Jernigan. He's a senior.
We're about to have the coin toss, so let's pause for a second, and we'll let Malin jump in there with the official.
Champions for the Yellowjackets are Coach Lettrell, Cash Selby.
We're going to have a good, clean game tonight. We've already had the toss. We'll reenact. You're going to call in the air. What's your call? It's tails. You won the toss. You want to receive? Receive. Which end you want to kick from? You're going to kick from that end, and then you're going to receive. You put your backs to this goal. You put your backs to that goal.
All right, so thank you, Malin. Hey, Malin, real quick, as you're walking off the field, do you sense any electricity or anything from the players down there? You're right in the middle of things.
Well, we can see that they're definitely feeling something. I like this energy. I think first week nerves is something to really behold, and we'll see what happens of it. I'm excited.
So Boyd won the toss. They will receive to start this football game, and we're ready for the national anthem. And with that, Justin White, it is football time in Texas 2025 style.
We have made it. Made it to the summer, and we are here. Let's finish up the start lineup for Boyd. The skill positions. Hunter Eder, a senior. He's going to be a guy to watch out for on the offense and defensive side. The other receiver is Leighton Wheeler. He's a junior. The slot receiver is Cade Spencer, senior. Running back is another senior, Maddox Parks. At halfback is Bear Hornsby. At quarterback will be Cash Selby, and he's a senior. That's your starting lineup for Boyd Yellowjackets, coached by head coach Sean Sparks.
Sean Sparks, brand new to Boyd. He's a 28-year coaching veteran, replaces Ian Ritchie, who went 9-31 at Boyd. That's a very uncharacteristic for a program that's usually pretty good. They went 1-9 a year ago with their only win against Howe. 1-9 the year before that, 5-5 before that, and 2-8 before that. He was most recently the OC at Saginaw High School in 2024. The teams are out on the field, and Howe will be teeing it up, kicking it towards the north end zone, towards that concession stand, and doing the kicking will be Fernando Sanchez for Howe. A lot of new names, including head coach Jake Smith. Right-footed kicker. It's a short, kind of high kick, going to be taken at the 25, left side of the field, on his way up to the 35 and tackled by a mess of white jerseys to start this football game at the 36-yard line, it appears.
I think going to this game, both teams are pretty evenly matched. Both teams trying to forget about last season. But for the Bulldogs, I kind of want to see how this defense, talk about the offense so much, I want to see how this defense does so well this season.
They took away the ball, had 7 takeaways during the 2 scrimmages, and if that's any indication, this team could play well on past the start of basketball season. Dropping back to pass, throwing it out right side, caught by Hunter Eder. We haven't really had a chance to talk about him. He had a big game against Howe a year ago and doing it right there to start this football game. So they move it on up to the 38-yard line. Gain of 2, and there's a big hole up the middle. Look out. Middle of the seam, right hash, being chased down by Ryland Strong, finally brought down at the 18-yard line. And that is on the carry, Maddox Parks, who started as a receiver last year and then moved to running back and did a very nice job. And now whistles before this one gets underway, and you said?
That's a false start, yeah.
False start. So you wanted to see the defense. Well, you got a little taste of it there, but I don't think you liked what you saw.
I didn't like what I saw. They came crashing in, and it was an RPO. They're going to wave it off.
They're going to spot the ball at the 17-yard line.
That defense came crashing in, and their hole just opened up, and there was nobody at the second level. Good job by Ryland Strong to chase him down.
40-yard run by Parks. They give it to him up the middle again. He'll crash his way to the 12 or 13-yard line. And we're going to have a hard time spotting penalty flags because Boyd wears bright yellow shoes that are the same color as the flags. They'll give him the 18-yard line. Here's Parks again, up the middle, over the left guard. He'll make it inside the 10, or they'll spot him right at the 10.
Boyd likes to go fast after each play to see what that'll do to the Bulldogs later in the game.
Sixth play of the drive. Selby runs it around the left end. He's tackled by a host of Bulldogs. Maybe a gain of 1. It's going to be close to the first down marker. It's going to be 4th down.
Good job.
And they are showing that they're going to go for it.
I'm not going to think about it.
4th and 1.5. Selby wanting to run it up the middle. He's going to be very close. Malin, you got to look at that.
It looks like he got it. Yeah, they gave it to him.
First down.
So they're going to spot it at the 6-yard line.
Same play in a row, 2 times in a row. The quarterback keeper on that left side, and Selby able to find a hole to get a couple extra yards.
Selby with Maddox to his right stands in the gun. He's going to hand it off on the jet sweep coming near side. Hunter Eder is hit hard at the line of scrimmage, and that's Garrett Rogers making the play. No gain to the, well, maybe a yard to the 5-yard line.
Rogers coming off his block, and if he doesn't make that tackle, he goes in the end zone for a touchdown. Good job by Rogers to shed his block and make a good open field tackle.
Parks gets the hand right here. His feet are cut out from underneath him immediately. That's going to be a loss. Charles Furr on the stump, the leading tackler for the Bulldogs a year ago, comes up with a big one right there. It's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 7-yard line. Loss of 2. Selby will probably get a free play here. Now they'll blow it dead as Howe jumped across the line. And it looks like Howe's going to be illegal or going to be guilty of offsides, and they'll move it on up 5 yards.
That's been just a quick pace of play again by the Yellowjackets. As I was saying earlier, that's going to test the conditioning of Howe.
They are moving fast.
They are.
It's hard for a broadcaster who's not done this in several weeks. Slow it down, young man.
I will say Howe's response after that first big play has been pretty positive so far.
Absolutely.
Selby in the gun, left-handed quarterback. Right-handed quarterback. Throws it over the middle. It's caught. Touchdown, Hunter Eder. Right on the first L in Bulldogs in the south end zone. About 4 yards deep.
Slant across the middle, and there may be some confusion on defense because he was wide open right there in the middle of the zone, middle of the defense. Almost overthrew him. Overthrew Eder, but Eder able to make an adjustment and come down with a touchdown catch. 4-yard touchdown catch by Hunter Eder.
On for the PAT. Actually, it's going to be no good. So it's 6-0. Boyd with the early lead with 9:12 left to go in the first. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back after this.
No one wants to talk about losing a loved one. The grief that is put on your family is troublesome. Scoggins Funeral Home strives to make that most difficult time the easiest. We want your loved one to be sent off in the best way possible, with your wishes at heart. Call us at 903-482-5225 or visit our website at scogginsfuneralhome.com. 903-482-5225. Our location on Van Alstyne Parkway makes everything close for your needs. 903-482-5225. Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Main line break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com.
Kick to the Jackets.
Welcome back. We have a new scoring drive recap sponsor for this year. And it is Kingdom Inflatables. We serve his kingdom. Call them at 903-816-5486. The scoring drive recap for Boyd went 10 plays, 64 yards. And it took 2 minutes and 48 seconds off the clock. It was a 2-yard touchdown from Selby to Hunter Eder for the first score of 2025. And Howe's kickoff is a little, or the kickoff to Howe's a little squibber. It's going to be taken, I believe that was Eli Stoner on the far side who took it out of bounds at about the 33-yard line, and that's where Howe will start their first possession of 2025. Heading from south to north. A little bit of a wind. They raised the flag halfway. I'm assuming that's because of the school shooting.
Yes, probably.
Oh, they're going to actually spot the ball at the 30. Deacon Bender is going to hand off to Knox Bounds to start the game, and nothing doing there. He got back to the line of scrimmage. So not the way you wanted to start the first play of the year, but we expect big things from Knox Bounds and Deacon Bender going forward.
Absolutely, but they're in your favorite formation, pistol.
Yeah, but not as deep this year, I don't think. And now Bounds goes out of the backfield. Here's a little bubble screen to Ryland Strong, and he's hit immediately. So far, Boyd's defense has really murdered Howe to start this football game. That's going to be a loss. Back to the, the 19-yard line.
Yeah, 2 negative plays in a row there for the Bulldogs.
And Boyd is playing fast and with their hair on fire. I mean, they're just really getting after it and making some good open field tackles, and just it's almost like they know what's coming.
So it's 3rd and 20 on the opening drive for Howe. Bender sends a man in motion as Reich can cross. Bender wants to throw over the middle, and that one's going to be intercepted at the 40-yard line. That's Selby just playing center field, and he goes out of bounds at the Howe 18-yard line. That's not the way you wanted to open 2025.
I think it was intended for Strong, and Strong really hadn't turned around.
That was Bender's first career pass.
Man, and the safety was just waiting for it. Strong hadn't turned around, and he just had to catch it, and a good return back to inside the 20 for Boyd.
Boy, Boyd is set up in great shape right here at the 19-yard line.
They march down, score on the first drive, and they get a turnover on this side of the field, and Howe side of the field.
Selby in the gun, Parks to his right. Selby rolls out right. Now he's going to tuck it and run. He's got a lot of seam in front of him, a lot of turf, and that's going to be a touchdown. 19 yards on the very first play of the drive, and the white jerseys of Howe find themselves down 12-0. I can imagine the 2-point conversion's coming up right here.
I don't necessarily know if it was a quarterback design run, sprint out to his right, faked it on the run, and then just found a seam right up the middle. Nobody there, and basically untouched all the way to the end zone. 19-yard touchdown run by Selby.
So they'll stay in here to go for 2.
Trying to get those 2 points back.
Selby in the gun. He'll keep it himself. Dances over right side now, punches it out. And he strolls in, almost untouched after he broke out of the initial surge. And they do get their 2 points back. 14-0. Boyd in the lead with 7:53 left to go in the first. We'll be back in a moment.
At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs.
This is Bulldogs head coach Jake Smith, and it didn't take me long to get to know where Sonic of Howe is. After practice or games, I like to head down to 105 North Collins Freeway, grab a burger, tots, and a shake. As a matter of fact, I like to say, it's Sonic time in Texas.
Yeah, Coach, that's kind of my thing.
Oh, okay. How about Sonic really brings the hammer down?
Coach, that's kind of my thing.
With Sonic, I'm highly motivated, truly dedicated.
Yeah, Coach, that's another one of my lines.
How about this? It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Yeah, I like that.
Welcome back. There's 7:53 on the clock. Your Kingdom Inflatable scoring drive recap. One play, 19 yards, scored by quarterback Cash Selby. And the 2-point conversion by Selby gives us a 14-0 Boyd lead with 7:53 remaining in quarter number 1 at Bulldog Stadium in the 82nd opener of this place. The Tech Wave kickoff is in the air, going to be taken at the 30-yard line, moving up the field. Ball's on the turf again. And Boyd has recovered again. This is a disastrous start for Howe, as Boyd has it at the 44-yard line of Howe.
Wow. I don't think you could have scripted a worse start here for Howe. Boyd drives down the field on the first drive, on the first possession. You turn it over on your first offense possession, and then before you even get the ball a second time, now you turned over a second time of the game.
This thing could get out of hand fast. It's already getting out of hand. Ball at the 44-yard line. And Selby wants to throw. Deep down the right side, looking for his man. It's going to be intercepted. Stoner takes it right back. Holds the ball up with his right hand, and he is swarmed by Howe Bulldogs at the 32-yard line on the numbers. So what could have been complete disaster, Stoner fumbled a moment ago, but he says, hey, I'm not digging that. I'm going to take that thing right back.
Redeems himself with a jump ball, trying to get over the backside, over the defense. And Stoner playing safety over there does a good job of coming over and picking it out at its highest point. Up against one of the receivers. I didn't see which receiver it was intended for, but Stoner right there able to bring it down like a rebound.
Did they get flagged?
No, he when he came down, his knee touched the ground.
From their own 21-yard line, Bender flushed down to the pocket, rolling right, and he's sacked. Inside the 10 to the 6-7-yard line.
Man, it just seems this offensive line just hasn't been able to hold up on the blocks at all to start this game. Bender had absolutely no time as soon as that play snapped.
Absolutely. It was almost as if it was a screen because the defense got through so quickly.
And what's interesting about that, the line is supposed to be the strength of this football team with 4 returning starters.
Absolutely. That's what I thought. That's the foundation of this team.
Bender drops back, looks left, throws over, caught by Stoner. He's popped at the 15, brought down there. Not enough for a first down. Got to get to the 22 for a first down.
There was better protection there, I'll say. They created a nice pocket for Bender. He was able to deliver a strike.
9-yard gain up to the 18. We'll make 3rd down and 12.
Pistol formation.
We got to get to the 32, 31-yard line for a first. Still 12 to go. Bender rolls right. Throws it deep down the field to the right side, looking for Strong. Goes up, comes down with it at the 48. He's off to the races. It's a foot race. Kiss him goodbye. Touchdown time in Texas. Bender hits Ryland Strong and makes it a 1-touchdown game after that disastrous start.
Threw it downfield. Ryland Strong, one-on-one, just kind of out-athletes the defensive back, comes down with it. At that point, it's just a foot race. And Strong put it in turbo mode.
Boy, did he ever.
And just outran him to the end zone.
There's not too many Howe Bulldogs over the years that can create that separation that Ryland Strong just did.
I mean, because the defensive back was right there with him.
That was a 72-yard pass and catch. And the kick is blocked at the line of scrimmage, rolling around at the goal line. Howe scrambled to try to recover it in the end zone, but that's going to be a dead ball. So Howe kind of has the same special teams woes as Boyd did on their first score. 14-6, our new score with 6:23 left to go in the first quarter. We'll be back right after this.
What's up, guys? It's Ridley Carter. I'm a senior cross country and long distance track runner.
This is Riley McCollum, senior basketball player and leading strikeout softball pitcher.
I'm Dylan Patterson, graduating football player and powerlifter.
I'm Ayla Jones, class of 2026 volleyball player.
We would like to thank the Howe Athletic Booster Club for the support of Howe student athletes and encourage anyone interested in helping to join.
Go
Dogs!
If your home or business could talk, what would it say? It may say it would like some privacy or security. Enjoy the beauty and durability of quality fencing from MTE Fence. MTE Fence is a local company specializing in commercial and residential fencing. MTE Fence ranges from wood, aluminum, and chain link fencing. MTE Fence services all of Grayson County and surrounding areas. Go to mtefence.com or call 903-686-9039 for an estimate. MTE Fence has a passion for connection. We are your connection for quality.
Your Kingdom Inflatable scoring drive recap for Howe. 3 plays, 79 yards, capped off by a 72-yard touchdown strike from Bender to Strong, where Strong ran the final 42 yards or so of that score. And it's 14-6, Boyd in the lead with 6:23 remaining in quarter number 1. And this will be Sanchez to do the kicking on the Tech Wave kickoff. It's going to be a line drive kick caught at the 29-yard line, and going down right there for Boyd is going to be Drew Brinkley, the sophomore, who made the running catch.
Yeah, that pass was strong. It was 72 yards for the pass and catch, but it was 45 yards for the catch after he received it.
Let's check down with our Love Cottage sideline reporter. Maybe we'll do it right after this play. Oh, I don't know if we'll ever get to it now because Boyd goes so fast on offense, but we'll check down with Malin Walker here momentarily. Selby directing traffic in the backfield. Now a flag comes in late. Let's talk to Malin. What have you seen so far? That touchdown pass, Deacon Bender's first touchdown pass of his career. I'm sure that's impressive. Talk about what you're seeing.
I want to harp on the night and day difference from the offensive line. In the beginning of the game, they couldn't handle a 3-man rush with the sack and the loss of yards, and now they handled the 5-man blitz, which ended up being a 72-yard touchdown pass. Incredible.
Selby in the gun, sends a man in motion. And he's going to keep it himself. He's in trouble behind the line of scrimmage. Going to be brought down. Mejia is there along with, that is your Charles Haley of this team maybe. Jacob Griffo, the big cat on the left end. And, he can bring the house. I don't even think we did the defensive starters. We ran out of time before the national anthem. Selby drops back again, flushed down to the pocket. Chased by Griffo, throws it on the run, and a great catch, I believe, on the far sideline. Are they going to say he caught it? Yes, they did. Right past the first down marker. And they'll move the sticks at the 41.
Man, you had him in 3rd and long after a penalty and a tackle for a loss, and he ended up getting the first down.
Selby, handoff. Parks is going to be brought down immediately. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. I'm telling you what, Mr. Griffo is all over the place. And Brown as well. New face for Howe on that defensive line is Jameer Brown. And he and Griffo, they are quite the 1-2 punch.
Griffo on that defensive end.
Here's a quick screen out. Going to be caught. Trying to escape. Does escape a tackle and finally brought down by Fernando Sanchez at the 46-yard line.
It does seem like ever since Eli Stoner picked that pass off that the energy on both sides of the ball has picked up tremendously.
Absolutely.
Snap back to Selby, rolling out left. Wanting to throw, under pressure, trying to get around the corner, throws on the run, and that one is a low throw that falls incomplete. I'm not sure if he overthrew his intended receiver at about the 45 and it floated just shy of the receiver that was closest at the end, which was Hunter Eder, but it falls incomplete and it's 4th down. Boyd from their own 45.
Watch out for Selby. Selby can run this ball. He's very athletic back there.
They are not bringing the punt team out.
And this is a risky play by Boyd early in this game.
4th and 5. Not even to midfield. Selby throws it. Not much pressure there. First down catch made. To the 40. To the 35. Breaking out of the tackle. To the 20. To the 15. To the 10. To the 5. That right there is a risky but a successful touchdown to Leighton Wheeler from Cash Selby. Gut check play from their own 45 on 4th and 5.
Yeah, took a gamble on 4th down on their side of the field. Had some time to throw, and then found Wheeler right in the middle of the defense, in the middle of the zone. Broke one tackle, and then it was off to the races. Nobody else could catch him.
The kick is up, and the kick is good. And so Boyd stays with the point ratio, 21-6 over Howe with 4:45 remaining in the first. We're going to be back right after this.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at MrEdInsurance.com.
From tailgate to touchdown, South State is here to ensure your financial game plan leads you to victory. With cutting-edge digital tools like contactless payment, digital wallet, and more, your financial plays become seamless and convenient. As your trusted banking partner, South State is committed to supporting you every step of the way, providing expert guidance and dedicated assistance on your financial journey. This is Banking Forward, South State Bank, member FDIC.
Man, if we're going to keep this pace, my goodness, I'm going to run out of tablet here.
I'm going to have a lot of highlights to cut.
You are, yeah. There's probably at least 4 or 5 already.
Yeah, I think there's 6.
4:45 left to go in the first. Boyd leads 21-6, and your Kingdom Inflatables, who's getting all kinds of airtime tonight. That one was 6 plays, 70 yards. And it was a 65-yard pass and catch from Selby to Wheeler. Here's your Tech Wave kickoff, going to be taken by Stoner, who will swirl down at the 37-yard line, where Howe will start their next possession.
Well, at some point, this defense is going to have to get a stop because.
And you had them on the ropes. It just seems like Howe had them on the ropes at that point. Forced a 4th down and 5, shy of midfield. 9 teams out of 10 punt that football, but Boyd, not so much.
Well, that's actually the second 4th down touchdown they've had this game, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they scored on their first possession on 4th and goal.
I believe you're right. Yep.
So that's 2 times Howe's had the opportunity to make a stop, and they just haven't been able to.
Howe, we're 4:39 left to go in the first. Feels like we've been in the first for quite a while.
It does.
Traveling south to north, and they're all white jerseys and new white helmets, and they're going to draw Boyd off sides. This is going to be an easy 1st and 5 situation for Howe as they'll move it on up to the 42-yard line. Good call there by the coaching staff to put yourself in a good position.
Yeah, you're going to need the free yards as much as wherever you can get it.
Offside against Boyd.
I'll be curious if we see Knox Bounds again in this drive. We haven't seen him the last couple of possessions.
Well, it's time. Do you see him out there? Yeah,
I do see him out there, yeah.
So they're going to put the ball at the 43-yard line. Bender, empty backfield, cross in motion, but the Bender's going to keep it, and he's going to be close to a 1st down, maybe a couple of yards shy at the 47-yard line. gain of 4 thereabouts.
It makes you wonder, too, as Bender with that quarterback keeper, you saw Cross in motion. At what point are you going to see Cross on some kind of a jet sweep around the edges?
Did it look like there was a mix-up maybe on that play?
Yeah.
Like that might have been the play there, but something happened in the backfield. It didn't look normal, but here's Knox Bounds in the pistol formation behind Bender. Bad snap. Bender can't grab it, and I think Boyd may have it again, and they do. Another turnover, and it was just a bad snap. Aiden Torres, just fired it at Bender's feet. He tried to pick it up, but he was falling backwards as he was trying to pick it up.
I was about to say, it came at his feet. He's going backwards to start his throwing motion, and as he's leaning back, trying to get it at his feet, here comes the Boyd defense bearing down on him. Ball's on the carpet, and the third turnover of this game for the Bulldogs.
Boy,
here in the first quarter.
If you keep this up, you're never wearing white jerseys at home ever again.
No kid.
1st and 10 left to right for Boyd. And Selby wants to set up the middle screen. Does. Caught. 41 down to the 40. Turns around. 35. Slung down at the first down marker right at the 32-yard line.
Reeled in that pass rush and then just kind of lofted over the line into getting into open space into Parks.
That's Grady Rawlings on the reception.
For Rawlings. They got all these little receivers that can scoop.
1st and 10. Selby throws out right side. Going to be caught again. And that'll be moved forward to the 22-yard line, which is right at the sticks. And again, another first down. On the reception was Brinkley. And another first down. They're racking them up. 2 receivers either side. Handoff up the middle. And again, that is Rawlings on the carry. Gain of about 3 or 4 to the 19-yard line.
You know, Selby was not the scheduled quarterback this season. It was going to be Will Brinkley. He decided not to play. He played last year against Howe. He's not playing his junior season. That's put Selby in at quarterback.
Selby rolls right, fires on the sideline. It's going to be dropped. Wheeler had it in and out of his hands, and he would have had enough maybe for the first down had he just held on to the ball, but that's going to bring up 3rd down for Boyd right at the 3-minute mark here in the first quarter.
He was thinking about going upfield. Again, these receivers and running backs are not very big. They're little guys, but they can get – the goal is to get them in space and just try to make a play, and they've done that here tonight.
Parks back in the game will stand to the right side of Selby, who drops back 5 steps, setting up middle screen. Caught again by Rawlings. He's got the 15, cuts, dances to the 12 where he's brought down there, but another first down. And that one on 3rd down.
And now they're moving fast.
Rawlings in the backfield.
Jacob Griffo coming off. He's playing offense and defense, a big guy.
Selby rolls out right, and now whistles before this one can get underway.
I think it's timeout.
Howe calls a timeout, and I think, hey, this is a fast-paced game. We're going to take a quick timeout as well. 2:47 left to go in the first. Boyd on top, 21-6.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president.
Give me a break.
You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421.
2:47 left to go in quarter number 1. Boyd on top, 21-6. And looking for more as it is 1st and goal from the 10. So they got an extra 2 yards out of that I didn't think they got. Everybody tight here. A handoff right side, and breaking through is Rawlings to the 5-yard line. They'll mark him at the 6, it appears.
4 yards. Number 50, Jamar Brown.
Trying to play more of a power game. Selby goes up under center that time to hand off to Rawlings.
Hunter Eder split out wide to the left. Everybody else very tight. Selby goes under center again, an I formation. Turn, toss. Rawlings fighting at the goal line. No indication they're going to mark him down at the 1. 5-yard gain.
Ryan Strong, number 12, making the tackle. Brings up third.
Some not so great tackling here by the Bulldogs, I've started to notice.
Griffo back into the game.
And I wonder if that's just from being just the pace of play here.
Quarterback sneak, and he snuck it in. Touchdown Boyd. With 1:51 left to go in the first, they now lead 27-6, awaiting this PAT. And that was Selby. Again.
Well, the Yellowjackets have capitalized on turnovers so far in this game. And it's still a long first quarter.
Very long. Young on for the PAT, sails this one way wide left. And our score will remain 27-6 with 1:51 left to go in the first. We'll be right back.
It's that time of year again where our beloved radio guy won't shut his trap about how hot it is up here in the press box. Thankfully, the good people at Baker Air Conditioning and Heating cool this thing down in no time.
Roger, we're dying over here.
Speaking of hot air, there he is. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been serving the community of Howe for nearly 60 years. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating is located on Highway 5, and you can call them at 903-532-6255.
Roger!
Anchors with a Z Boat and RV Storage is located 1 mile off of U.S. Highway 75 in Howe, Texas. Anchors Boat and RV Storage is proud to bring personal, small-town customer service to the growing area of North Texas. With both open and covered parking available, locally owned and operated, members of the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce and the Texas Self-Storage Association. Anchors Boat and RV Storage has 20 amp power available and is manager occupied at 311 Old Highway 6 in Howe. Visit anchorsboatrvstorage.com or call 903-444-2500.
Your Kingdom Inflatables scoring drive recap for Boyd. 8 plays, 42 yards. And it took about 2 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock. Capped off by a 1-yard touchdown by Selby. And now Stanton McLean will kick off the Tech Wave kickoff. It's going to be taken up the middle. A nice return up to the 42-yard line for Howe. And they'll start right there on their own side of the field, still traveling to the north to the concession stand here at Bulldog Stadium on the 82nd home opener of Bulldog Stadium, the oldest active stadium anywhere in North Texas.
Lonnie, me and Jake were talking about it in the break. I think this is probably, even 1:46 left in the first quarter, the most important possession of the game so far. You're down 21 points. You need a score right now just to kind of keep your morale up and kind of keep yourself in the game. Good news is there's still 3 quarters to play, but you can't give up the ball now and then be down 33-6, 34-6. So you need to score if you want to stay in this game.
Well, you need to establish the run and take about 8 minutes off the clock here.
Mm-hmm.
Bender turns, tosses to Knox Bounds, coming near side. He's got a lot of room. Look out, 50. Lowers his shoulder and goes down on the Boyd side of the field at the 45-yard line. And there's the running game you want to establish.
Absolutely. Get him on the outside. Got some blocks on the outside there, and Bounds able to use some of his vision and speed to get to the Boyd territory.
He'll move to the right slot here. Bender all alone in the backfield. Pressure immediately and sacked immediately, and all the momentum and yardage you got there on the last play is gone, and Bender's slow to get up. Back to the 44-yard line.
That was Jess Withers, the middle linebacker, one of the lead tacklers from last season for this Boyd team, come knifing through the middle, slam Bender down.
Let's check down with our Love Cottage sideline reporter, Malin Walker. He might have seen what's going on there as far as whether it was a middle linebacker blitz or what. How's the line not able to handle this?
Well, it was a targeted blitz. They sent 3 guys on 2 blockers, and of course, one got by and slammed them.
So Bender is still on the turf. Now he's comes up to his feet, but he's going to have to sit a play out. He's kind of got his left arm held up there for a minute, but now he puts it back down. So I don't think he might have just got the wind knocked out.
That's what I thought too. So
you have to remember, this is his first varsity game he's ever played. He's a sophomore. How many times did we see Austin Haley on the ground and we all clutched?
Well, good news, you got Ryland Strong, last year's quarterback. You can just insert in there real quick, and you don't really miss a beat.
Strong is in the gun. His feet are on the 40. The ball's at the 45. Man goes in motion to Stoner. They toss it to him, trying to find the right edge. Cuts it up in the middle. He's got a little bit of room. Gets back to what maybe was the original line of scrimmage. He's a yard shy of it at the 44-yard line on the Boyd side of the field.
And Bender goes right back into the game after a quick break.
Checking out for Howe is Nathan Garibay, as he was in on that last play.
And you got to think, on this side of the field, at this juncture of the game, you're on the Boyd 46-yard line, 3rd and 11. If you get some yards here, you probably go for it on 4th down.
I would imagine so. Keep it on the ground, one would imagine, but they're going to throw it in the air. Bender running for his life, and he's sacked again. Back on the Howe side at the 43.
And it's like you said earlier, it's almost like a screen pass, the way that I don't know that there was a single person that got blocked on that play.
What I'm seeing is Boyd saw that Howe's going to start a sophomore quarterback, and they said, we're going to bring the house because the game's already going to be fast in his eyes, and they're trying to speed it up even more. That's the end of the first quarter, and it was not a good one for Howe. 27-6, Boyd leads, and it was a long first quarter. We'll be right back.
No one wants to talk about losing a loved one. The grief that is put on your family is troublesome. Scoggins Funeral Home strives to make that most difficult time the easiest. We want your loved one to be sent off in the best way possible, with your wishes at heart. Call us at 903-482-5225 or visit our website at scogginsfuneralhome.com. 903-482-5225. Our location on Van Alstyne Parkway makes everything close for your needs. 903-482-5225. Scoggins Funeral Home. Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Main line break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs.
Well, it's 27-6, Boyd in the lead, and Howe facing a 4th and 23 to start the second quarter. We'll roll back in punt formation, and Garrett Rogers will do the punting, but we've got whistles before this one get underway. I believe
Boyd called a timeout.
Timeout by Boyd. And they're going to change. No, I thought Hunter Etter was back deep to return, but I'm assuming he'll stay in that position. Jake, not a good start, huh? I mean, Justin or Jake or
whoever wants to talk.
Whoever.
You know, me and Jake were talking about again in the break that there's flashes here. You know, you got Deacon Bender, a sophomore quarterback. You got Ryland Strong. You got Cross. You got Bounce. You see flashes of it. They have the personnel. It's just trying to put it together. You can tell this is kind of the first game of the season. This offensive line has to improve, for one. And then another thing about Bender, he needs to get rid of the ball. I know he's got the pass rush coming at him. He's got to learn to kind of throw the ball away to kind of keep from having all those sacks and lost yards.
But also you can see where the offensive line has had some good plays as well, and they've protected really well. So it's strange.
It's the blitz that's kind of throwing them for a loop here. 4th and 23. Garrett Rogers runs and kicks a wobbly line drive kick, bounces at the 38 and rolls out of bounds. And I think they're going to probably, unless they do that official walk, they got a pretty good spot there. They're going to mark it at the 37-yard line.
37-yard line. Well, we talked about how offense you need to get a score. Now defense, obviously you need to stop. You just can't play from that far behind.
And so Boyd will now be moving towards the concession stand from south to north. They come out in all gold. Gold pants, gold jerseys, gold helmets. It's white versus gold tonight. Of course, they have green numerals. And the Boyd logo on their helmet. Maddox Parks in the backfield. Selby, quarterback, is going to run. No, it's Young, and he is murdered by Charles Furr at the 34-yard line. Furr with a classic textbook tackle.
And see, that's the flashes that we were just talking about. It's like there's things you're seeing where it's like if they could put this all together, this is a good football team.
And that read option, and Furr was not fooled at all, and just a textbook tackle on Selby.
That's Young in at quarterback.
Yes,
he hands off to the first man through. Ball's on the turf. Howe says they have it. This would be big. No indication just yet, and I think Boyd was able to fall on it. No. The signal is for Howe. They got the first turnover of the night, or second, actually. So Howe recovers a fumble on the Boyd side of the field at the 41-yard line.
Well, I said you need to get a stop. That's what the doctor ordered right there. Get a turnover is even better on the Boyd side of the field. And I didn't get to see the play. Did you see it, Jake? I was looking down.
Yeah,
the pace of play is going so fast here for me with Boyd.
Yeah, they handed it off to their running back, and he went forward, and I don't think anything happened. I think just as he was going down, he got tackled kind of from behind, and the ball just kind of slipped through his fingers, and then Howe was able to jump on it.
Strong on the right side, split out really more as a slot receiver. Stoner split out wide left. Cross comes to the near side. He's going to split out wide right. Bender talks to the offensive line. And now a
delay game.
Is it a delay of game or a timeout?
It is a delay of game.
Delay of game. They were taking too much time. There was a lot of moving parts before the snap there.
We're kind of changing the snap count, see if they get Boyd to draw off sides. They didn't. And while you're doing that, the young quarterback didn't look at the play clock and got a 5-yard penalty out of it.
So now back him up to the 47. It'll be 1st and 15, playing behind the sticks again. Strong split out wide right. This is going to be a toss to Bounds. Headed left. Trying to find the corner. Does for a moment. Gets past the 40 and roped out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. They'll spot him.
Knocks Bounds, number 5.
Good run there of about 8 yards for Bounds. They'll spot it back at the 40. So 7 yards for Bounds.
Nice blocking by Bryce Baker, left guard, pulling out. Lead the way along with Brevin Mayo. He blocks it for Bounds.
Cross is in the slot on the near side. Strong split out wide right. Bender drops back, throws quickly to Ryland Strong, and it's in and out of his hands and nearly intercepted. But it falls incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down and 9. It was a little bit of a high pass. Strong had to go up for it. But one, I bet you he'd say, should have been caught.
Yeah, should have been caught. Bender had the rush coming through on the wide receiver screen. They were going to make Boyd pay for that blitz because Strong, with his speed, had a lot of room in front of him.
Clock stops at 11:05. Bender drops back 3 steps, looking right, deep down the field, and it's going to be almost intercepted by Selby again. The nearest receiver was Ryken Cross, but he was at least 7 yards behind Selby, who nearly caught it.
Put a lot of air on that, just too much air trying to get it down to Cross.
So it's 4th and 9, and we'll see what Howe elects to do here. On the Boyd side of the field, and I'm not seeing a Garrett Rogers coming in to punt. So Bender stays in, drops back, 3 steps, looks right side, going to be caught by Strong and brought down, but I'm not sure. He's going to be real close to a first down. Malin right on the spot. Did he get it?
I think they're going to give it to him. That's a first down.
He caught the ball right at the sticks. It was very similar to Aikman to Irvin. What'd they call that? The Hard 8? On the America's Team Netflix show. So it'll be first down for Howe, and that's a big one. And a timeout called by Boyd with 10:44 left to go in the second. Let's take a timeout real quick. We'll be right back right after this.
Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Main line break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs. At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs.
What a fourth down call that was. On 4th and 9, they convert.
And the key thing is not only the nice catch by Strong in traffic, but also the offensive line gave plenty of time, a nice solid pocket for Bender to throw from.
We understand it might be drizzling a little bit. Here is Bender, drops back 3 steps, hammers it deep down the field, and a little confusion on the route from Ryland Strong and Bender. And we've got an injured player for Howe down at the 40-yard line, and I think that is going to be Griffo.
He's up. He's just very slow. That's the second time that we've seen, second or third time we've seen kind of a miscommunication with the receiver and Bender, where the receiver stopped maybe 5-7 yards and Bender threw it almost a vertical route downfield.
Hey, somebody needs to tell our next door mate over there, Roger Tidwell, to turn the air on. There's a first time of the year. The incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10 as Bender wants to throw. Bubble screen, Riken Cross makes the catch, trying to split through defenders and can't do it. Running back towards the line of scrimmage from the far side, and he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Might have even lost 2 yards, and I think he did. It's going to be 3rd down and 12 as they move the ball back to the 33-yard line.
Ty Withers, the defensive back for Boyd, was right there with Cross and made the tackle as soon as he caught the ball. Withers did a good job of keeping up with Cross.
Howe has virtually eliminated the run game.
They just playing from behind. Need to get points.
Splitting out is Van Derrick along with Ryland Strong, and Bender's going to keep it over the right side. Got a little bit of a crease, but goes down at the 27-yard line. Not enough for a first, but it sets up an interesting 4th down situation.
I don't know if everybody's seeing this, but it seems like Knox bounds on that one. He was trying to be the blocker for Bender. It seems like he starts just a hair early. Hadn't got called for it yet for a false start, but watch him. He's almost starting just a little bit too early for it.
Well, sometimes in the pistol, you got to get there fast to the line of scrimmage.
You do.
You're a long way back. 9:18 on the clock. It's rolling here in the second quarter. Howe trails 27-6. Bender wants to throw. Quick pass over the middle of the cross. That's going to be a first down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. They'll spot him actually right at the 20.
And there's a flag down as well, and I think that's...
it's against Howe. Malin, were you able to see what might have happened on the flag there?
I don't know if I got a good look at it. I don't know what they want to call.
I thought it was roughing the passer is what I thought it was.
That's my first instinct.
Because Bender went down, and it was kind of in the area back in the pocket where he would have gone down at.
That's what I was going to say right before I saw them call it.
They are throwing it.
Oh, it is.
It is roughing the passer.
Okay.
Now that makes sense.
Yes.
That makes more sense.
So is it offsetting? Or no? Okay.
They're going to move this. They're going to move the ball inside.
Yeah, I think he made a mistake calling on Howe. So
That's what I was thinking.
So you're tacking 15 on to that reception from Cross.
They're inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. No, they're at the 9-yard line. I'm sorry. And boy, this is a busted play. The ball's on the turf. It was a jet sweep.
They're going to mark him down.
Oh, thank goodness.
And Howe is very fortunate right there. Cross was coming along on the jet sweep, and he had a yellow jersey or gold jersey right on top of him who almost took the handoff.
I mean, he
instead of Cross.
He was waiting for Cross to take the handoff. I believe that was Withers in the backfield, literally waiting for Cross to take that handoff.
So now it's going to be second down and goal from the 14 after a 5-yard loss. Playing behind the sticks again. Man in motion again is Cross. Bender's going to keep it, and he lost it. Picking it out of the air away from Bender. Headed to the house, and Ryland Strong tracking him down, showing his amazing speed. And Strong brings him down at the 19. Nobody other than Strong would have made that rundown. My goodness, the speed of Ryland Strong. But that changes the entire field and complexity of this situation with 8:31 left to go in the second quarter, as it appeared Howe was in position to get points. But they go the other way. They just stripped the ball away from Bender and went the other way.
Was that Bender or Bounds? I thought they were lined up in the wild dog.
They ran a wildcat formation with Bounds.
Okay, yeah, and Bounds got hit. Ball came on the carpet. And thank goodness for Ryland Strong to stick with it. If there is a silver lining from a turnover, at least he stopped him.
Well, my apologies to the Bender family. I thought it was Bender who fumbled, but apparently it was Bounds. So now Boyd with the ball at the Howe 19-yard line. Selby under pressure, being chased by Derrick, throws it, and it's picked up in the air and falls. Was it caught? My goodness, I think it falls incomplete. There were so many opportunities for either team to make that catch as it was batted up in the air. But it falls incomplete, and it's second down and 10.
And Van Derrick was chasing down Selby. Is that Selby, I think?
It was Selby.
Yeah, chasing down Selby. Selby throws across his body, which you're not supposed to do as a quarterback, and almost got it picked off.
Well, check that. Aiden Young into the game at court. No, it's Selby still. Rolling out right, wants to throw on the run, making the catch on the far side, but paying the price. And I believe the receiver on that was Cope Luttrell. And as soon as he caught it, he was smashed in the mouth.
Garrett Rogers coming with a full head of steam. Able to make that tackle. Now 3rd and 4, maybe?
It was about a 6-yard gain to the 14, or 13 rather.
And something we haven't seen Boyd do all season long is kind of look at the sidelines for the play.
Selby all season long. Here is a quarterback keeper over right guard. He stood up before he can get to the stick. But it's going to be a good run and sets up 4th down and short for Boyd. 4th and 1.
Watch for the quarterback keeper by Selby.
They'll spot it at the 10-yard line.
There's another opportunity for Howe to get a stop.
Selby's going to keep it. You called it, right side first down for Selby. And trying to get more, but he's finally brought down inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. 7-yard run on the quarterback keeper over right guard.
They get up to that line, just don't give Howe enough time to get their defense set. And then Selby just tries to find a hole on that right side, able to sneak his way through for a couple yards, get the first down.
Selby will turn and hand off to Rawlings, met at the goal line, or met at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. I'm sure they'll give him the line of scrimmage, which was the 4, or at least that's where they're going to spot him. It'll be second down and goal from the 4. 6:46 remaining in the first half. Boyd on top, 27-6. Rawlings still in the game to the left side of Selby. Fake it to him. Throwing in the corner, looking in the end zone for Hunter Eder. And it is it's caught, but at the 1-yard line.
Just couldn't get around, couldn't turn the corner. Garrett Rogers in coverage, able to knock him out of bounds right before he was trying to get inside the pylon.
3rd and goal from the 1. Are you talking tush push right here?
Yes.
Without a push?
Without the push. They're going to go straight up the gut.
And they're going to draw Howe off sides, looking for a free score in the end zone. It's incomplete. But a new set of downs. No, not a new set of downs.
Just a half a yard.
And a half a yard closer.
Penalty flag thrown.
The offsides against Howe.
Against the Bulldogs.
So instead of having it at the 1, they'll have it at the half. And speaking of half, we're 6 minutes and 26 seconds away from it, with Boyd leading 27-6, looking for more right here. 3rd and goal from the half-yard line. Selby in the gun, pitches it out to Rawlings, who strolls into the end zone for a half-yard touchdown.
That was dangerous, pitching it out like that.
It's a good option look.
Yeah, I don't know why you just don't go right up the middle. Either way, they score. So, quarterback speed option.
33-6, our new score. Boyd in the lead. I'd like to be a fly on the wall for Jake Smith's first halftime conversation with his team. Boyd, they just move fast. You have to be in really good shape defensively to keep up with this team. Going for 2, Selby flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run, jump ball on the far side, and it is incomplete.
I believe there's a penalty flag.
Declined. That's a holding.
Okay.
So 33-6, our new score, with 6:26 remaining in the half. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be right back.
What's up, guys? It's Ridley Carter. I'm a senior cross country and long distance track runner.
This is Riley McCollum, senior basketball player and leading strikeout softball pitcher.
I'm Dylan Patterson, graduating football player and powerlifter.
I'm Ayla Jones, class of 2026 volleyball player.
We would like to thank the Howe Athletic Booster Club for the support of Howe student athletes and encourage anyone interested in helping to join.
Go
Dogs!
If your home or business could talk, what would it say? It may say it would like some privacy or security. Enjoy the beauty and durability of quality fencing from MTE Fence. MTE Fence is a local company specializing in commercial and residential fencing. MTE Fence ranges from wood, aluminum, and chain link fencing. MTE Fence services all of Grayson County and surrounding areas. Go to mtefence.com or call 903-686-9039 for an estimate. MTE Fence has a passion for connection. We are your connection for quality.
Your Kingdom Inflatable scoring drive recap as this thing's starting to deflate a little bit. 7 plays, 19 yards for Boyd. And with 6:26 remaining in the first half, they lead Howe 33-6 after a 1-yard score by Rawlings. And that is his first of the evening. We'll talk to Malin here in a little bit about, I think he has some experience of being down at half by a score such as this. What happens during the locker room. We'll try to talk to him after this Tech Wave kickoff.
Not something you really want to have experience in.
No, you don't want to have experience in that, but unfortunately, Malin was a part of some teams that went through that.
Unfortunately, I'm a professional at that.
Here's the kickoff. The Tech Wave kickoff going to be taken by Knox Bounds. Crosses the 50, crosses the 45, nears the 40-yard line in Boyd territory. And, man, you see flashes ever so often of what this team can do. Malin, let's talk about what they're going to talk about at halftime.
Well, up front, we got to hold the blitzes. That's most important priority number 1. 2, we need some defensive adjustments. We're getting a little slow week 1 nerves. Other than that, just as a player, you need to take care of business, not only for yourself at this point, but you need to make sure your teammates are playing to their best ability as well.
Thank you, Malin. That's our Love Cottage sideline report. 6:22 left to go in quarter number 2. Howe's going to try to get on the board. They've had several chances, but fortune does not smile on this team so far in 2025. Just when they have things headed their way, here's Bender. Just takes off running on the right side. That was an intended quarterback sprint out to the right, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it.
Nothing there, trying to get on the outside. Had some good blocking, but Boyd able to string him out and scrape and able to Get back to the line of scrimmage.
Knox bounds, checks out of the game. Garrett Rogers checks in on 2nd down and 10. The clock rolls at 5:50. Bender says something to Garrett Rogers, who lines up in the slot on the left side. Ryland Strong split out wide right. Bender, they're bringing the house again, and he goes down immediately. And there's a helmet-to-helmet, but no flag.
Perfect timing of execution, blitzing the A-gap. He barely got the ball before he was hammered.
9-yard loss back to the 50.
Feels like it's been like that all game. Bender not even able to look over any of his progressions at all before he's just hammered.
If the speed of the game wasn't already in Deacon Bender's head, their blitzes are just making it just so fast.
Yeah. It's already fast to begin with.
Yes. 3rd and 19. Rogers goes out of the backfield. Bender wants to throw, bubble screen. Here comes Cross. He's cut off and hit immediately. Not much doing there. He does cross the 50 to the 48-yard line, so a 2-yard gain on the little bubble screen. But it's going to be 4th down and 17 for Howe, and that's kind of been, the theme so far of this first half.
Well, and you wanted on this possession to at least kind of bleed this clock a little bit more. Don't give Boyd another chance at another possession.
I think they're going to take the play clock all the way down to 1 and then call timeout and punt this one away. Head coach Jake Smith is having a conversation with Justin Barnes, his offensive coordinator, and now he goes and talks to the head official. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Your officials for tonight's game, by the way, the referee is Gregory Mitchell. The umpire is Brandon Davis. The head linesman is David Chop. How about that for a referee name? David Chop. Back judge is Doug Maxwell. The line judge is Erica McDaniel. The side judge, Eddie Young. And the field judge is Dustin Lovinger. And there is a timeout on the field. Howe called it. 4:09 left to go before the half. They're going to try to punt this one away and pin them deep as they can because there's been no real answer to Boyd's offense to this point.
Well, let me float this out there. Does Jake Smith look at trying to go to Ryland Strong at quarterback in the second half? Or do you just still – is this Bender's show and he he'll keep it till it's till he can't do it anymore?
I think for confidence-wise, you just have to stick with Bender. He's a sophomore quarterback. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. That's why he gets paid the big bucks as a head coach, and I'm just up here broadcasting. But, you do have to factor in the psyche of a young player, and if he feels like he's already being yanked, what does that do going forward?
Well, and I don't know that Bender's necessarily the problem.
It's not Bender.
That's true. And you don't want to make him lose confidence.
It's definitely the blitz. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Jake. Rogers back in punt formation. He'll run and boot it away. Another low line drive end-over-end kick. It's going to be fielded at the 12-yard line, making an escape, coming up the near sidelines, and finally drug out of bounds at the 22-yard line. On the return for Boyd was Ty Withers. And they'll now move right to left from our vantage point from their own 22-yard line.
First down.
Well, you got exactly 4 minutes to go.
27-yard line.
And Boyd has shown they can score in about 30 seconds.
And Howe had several opportunities, even got down close enough to score, not too long ago, but fumbled the ball and it was taken the other way.
It's one thing when you're just getting beat. It's another thing when you beat yourselves.
Boy, they aren't helping themselves. That's for sure. Selby in the gun, drops back, wants to throw. They're trying to try to score again, but he breaks out of the pocket and runs near side up to the 27-yard line, gains 5 on the quarterback scramble.
Jacob Griffo getting a little bit of pressure up there, kind of making Selby uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I want to say he was held as well on that play.
The clock is running, even though Selby got out of bounds there. He wants to throw. Flush down to the pocket, rolling right. looking deep, now fires it way into the bleachers and almost into the stands on the far side. And that will definitely stop the clock at 3:22. As I understand, a new UIL rule, we'll have to see if this holds. A 2-minute warning.
Oh, will, okay.
So we were told that before. We were told that by the scoring operator for Howe. We'll see how much Senator Seagroves really knows. Maybe that's is a thing. 3rd down and 8 for Boyd. Howe nearly jumps across. And a deep ball right side looking for Hunter Eder. Makes the catch at the 45, off to the races, being chased down by Stoner. Nobody's going to catch him, however. And that's going to be another score for Boyd right before the half with 3:09 left to go here in the second quarter. 73 yards from Selby to Eder.
The Howe defense knew they got drawn off sides and kind of very lackadaisical in coverage. But the Boyd receivers were still doing their routes, going vertical. And Selby just hit him over the top, and then it was a foot race to the end zone.
Yeah, it was.
Bulldogs need to play all the way through until the whistle's called.
Jameer Brown stood up when the ball was snapped, and he never moved. He just stayed there like a statue. 3:09 on the clock. Here's the PAT, and it is low, and it just goes underneath the crossbar. No good. 39-6 is our score at Bulldog Stadium on the 82nd opening night. 3:09 left to go in quarter number 2. We'll be right back.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at MrRedInsurance.com.
From tailgate to touchdown, South State is here to ensure your financial game plan leads you to victory. With cutting-edge digital tools like contactless payment, digital wallet, and more, your financial plays become seamless and convenient. As your trusted banking partner, South State is committed to supporting you every step of the way, providing expert guidance and dedicated assistance on your financial journey. This is Banking Forward. South State Bank. Member FDIC.
Your Kingdom Inflatable scoring drive recap. 2 plays, 78 yards for Boyd. Capped off by a Selby to Eder. 73-yard touchdown. And our new score, 39-6 with 3:09 remaining in the first half. How about that?
Town customer service to the growing area of North Texas, with both open and covered parking available, locally owned and operated, members of the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce, and the Texas Self-Storage Association. Anchor's Boat and RV Storage has 20 amp power available and is manager occupied at 311 Old Highway 6 in Howe. Visit anchorsboatrvstorage.com or call 903-444-2500.
We're talking with Ayla Jones on the Anchors Boat and RV Storage Lady Bulldogs Senior Spotlight. How has this season gone so far for you?
It's gone good. It's a lot better than the past seasons I've been.
So I believe you've won more than you've lost, and I think that's probably a pretty good change for you ladies.
Yes, it is.
In your life, who is someone you look up to?
My mom.
And your mom is the nurse here, is that right?
Yes.
So what is it like getting to see your mom every day?
It's good.
Does she ever tell you what to do, or hey, you better get to class?
Sometimes.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have 2 brothers.
And what's their names and how old are they?
Alex Jones and Austin Jones, and I believe they're 19 and 21.
All right. What's the goal for this season for the Lady Bulldogs?
Keep working hard, push to be better.
Life after Howe High School for Ayla Jones. What do you see? College? What do you see in your future?
I plan on going to college, and I'm looking into being an ultrasound technician.
So you ultrasound and not a nurse for high school?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's been Ayla Jones for our Lady Bulldogs Spotlight, brought to you by Anchors Boat and RV Storage.
Tonight's Lady Bulldog Spotlight has been brought to you by Anchors Boat and RV Storage. You're listening to the Baker Air Conditioning and Heating Halftime Show.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at mredinsurance.com.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
No one wants to talk about losing a loved one. The grief that is put on your family is troublesome. Scoggins Funeral Home strives to make that most difficult time the easiest. We want your loved one to be sent off in the best way possible, with your wishes at heart. Call us at 903-482-5225 or visit our website at scogginsfuneralhome.com. 903-482-5225. Our location on Van Alstyne Parkway makes everything close for your needs. 903-482-5225. Scoggins Funeral Home.
This is Roger Tidwell, the PA dude here at Bulldog Stadium. The radio guys and I always fight over how hot and cold it is up here in the press box. But if the AC ever quit working, not only would Walker finally shut his trap, he would call Baker Air Conditioning and Heating. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been in Howe for over 50 years. They've been in business that long because they're just good people. Call 903-532-6255. That's 903-532-6255. Shut up, Monty.
You're listening to the Baker Air Conditioning and Heating Halftime Show. Now let's go back to the stadium with Justin White, Malin Walker, Jake Roberts, and Stephen Braswell.
Welcome back. We're at the half. 45-6, Boyd in the lead. Let's go over some stats with Braz.
Yeah, it's not looking real great for Howe, but Boyd, he's looking pretty good so far. But,
yeah, I bet.
So right now we got Bender with 9 for 15 passing and 102 yards, and a big chunk of that was the one to a Strong, 70-something yards. Rushing, we've got 18 rushes for 20 yards. 122 yards total first half for the Bulldogs. Some of the individual stats, Knox Bounds has 4 rushes for 37 yards. Eli Stoner 1 for 9. Racken Cross had one across there that lost 6 yards. Deacon Bender is 12 rushes for minus 20 right now.
Sacks will do that.
Yeah, they sure will. Sure will. Passing wise, like I said, Bender is 9 for 15 for 101, 1 touchdown and 1 interception so far. And receiving wise, we got Ryland Strong 4 for 91 yards and a touchdown. Eli Stoner 1 for 11 and Cross 4 for minus 2 so far. From the Boyd side, they are 13 of 20 passing for 206 yards.
Wow.
And 23 rushes for 101 yards for 307 total in the first half. The as far as the rushing for them, Maddox Part has 8 for 51 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 fumble. Case Selby is 8 for 34, 2 touchdowns. Grady Rawlings 4 for 15. Hunter Eder 1 for 1, and Adian Young 1 for minus 3 when he got nailed out there. Passing wise, Selby is 13 for 19, 206 yards, 4 TDs, and 1 interception.
Wow.
Receiving wise, they got Eder with 4 for 79, Wheeler 2 for 71, Parks 1 for 19, Rawlings 3 for 18, Brinkley 2 for 13, And Luttrell 1 for 6. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Braz, for the heartwarming statistics.
Yeah, the bearer bad news on that.
Now let's hand it over to Tanya Troxtel. We're going to talk with her for just a moment about the band. Before we do highlights here in just a moment, we'll have a quick conversation. Welcome again. This is like a routine for us now. Go ahead. Let's tell us about the band and what's the performance this year and how's that going?
Oh, okay. So thanks, Monty, first of all, for having us on. I appreciate that every year. One of the things we wanted to talk about is the Elements of Art, which is our 2025 show for the marching band of Howe. Lots of different music than what we've done in the past, and it's a different show, I think. So they're really, really going to hopefully take it to that place we don't talk about.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
So you have some new things with the band boosters, raffle. We'll talk about that.
So last year we started our 50-50 raffle at each home game. So we're going to continue to do that where we give away half the pot at halftime, right? So we have that. We also have merchandise and stuff that we're selling. The big thing that we're going to do this year is with our craft show, we are also going to start a car show. So that annual craft show that we have, the second weekend in November, we're going to have a car show out there with us too.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be good. How can we help kind of promote the band and do those things for you?
That would be fantastic. As always, we need sponsors. I know we did that big push for the trailers last year, and that was fantastic. The community really showed up for us on that. Overall, the band raised about $38,000 last year. So 15 of that went to wrap those 3 beautiful trailers you see us pulling around now. So thank you very much to the community for all that support, because we couldn't have done that without them.
All right.
This year, we're going to continue to try to get new props and those kind of things for the band. It costs a lot of money to feed that band every contest, right? Sometimes it's twice a contest. So meal sponsors for the charters to the place we don't talk about, those kind of things, right? So we could always use that kind of help.
Well, we love the pride of Howe, 3-time state champions, and best of luck to that group. I know you'll have fun throughout the fall and on into the spring.
Well, as always, it seems to go through Memorial Day weekend, so we get like a month off, and then we're right back at it.
All right. Well, thanks for coming up. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Monty. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, we'll kick it on over to Jake Roberts, and we'll go over the highlights, lowlights, highlights. What do we got?
We got some events that transpired in the first half.
Okay. Well, let's start from the top, from the very beginning. Boyd won the coin toss. They took the ball first, and they drove really in no time. 10 plays and 64 yards before they were able to get on the board. It ended up, I'm going to give Jake time to cue the highlight up. Give me a second. 3, 2. No pressure there, Jake, as he's scrambling. He does a great job engineering, does all kinds of work, and he's highly underpaid, by the way. But it was a Selby to Eder touchdown that got us on the board first tonight.
In the gun, left-handed quarterback, right-handed quarterback, throws it over the middle, it's caught. Touchdown, Hunter Eder.
And that was severely over-modulated. We'll bring that sound down for you. Howe took the ball at their own 30-yard line and threw an interception, and Selby is the one who picked it off, gave it back to Boyd at the 8-minute mark. It took him one play to score. All right, Selby rolls out right. Now he's going to tuck it and run. He's got a lot of seam in front of him, a lot of turf, and that's going to be a touchdown. 19-yard touchdown by Selby. He also ran in the 2-point conversion to make it 14-0 at 7:53 mark. And then they kicked off to Howe, and it landed in Eli Stoner's lap, and he fumbled it away. But he made up for it on the very next play. Getting out of hand. Ball at the 44-yard line. And Selby wants to throw. Deep down the right side, looking for his man. It's going to be intercepted. Stoner takes it right back. Holds the ball up with his right hand, and he is swarmed by Howe Bulldogs. And Howe took the ball at the 7:42 mark. at their own 21. It took them 3 plays to get in the end zone, and it was a bender to Ryland Strong. Touchdown pass. Bender rolls right, throws it deep down the field to the right side, looking for Strong, goes up, comes down with it at the 48. He's off to the races. It's a foot race. Kiss him goodbye. Touchdown time in Texas. Bender hits Ryland Strong. 72 yards on the strike, 3 plays, 79 yards on the drive. Made it 14-6 Boyd at that point, and Howe was back in the game, but not for long. Boyd took it at their own 30, and before long it was Selby to Wheeler for 65 yards. Not even to midfield. Selby throws it, not much pressure there. First down catch made to the 40, to the 35, breaking out of the tackle, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. That right there is a risky but a successful touchdown to Leighton Wheeler from Cash Selby. And it was risky because it was 4th down, not even to midfield. It made it 21-6 with 4:45 on the first quarter clock. Howe then got the football, drove 2 plays, and fumbled on a bad snap. Nothing was going right. Boyd got it at the 42-yard line of Howe, drove 8 plays and 42 yards, and a 1-yard touchdown by Selby. Quarterback sneak, and he snuck it in. Touchdown. Yeah, 27-6 at that point. 1:51 left to go in the first quarter. Howe's next possession ended at a punt, and then Boyd, their next possession ended on a fumble. Howe's next possession also ended in a fumble. It's early season, right? Boyd took it at the 8:30-minute mark in the second quarter, drove 7 plays and 19 yards, and a 1-yard touchdown run. Selby in the gun. Pitches it out to Rawlings, who strolls into the end zone for a half-yard touchdown. Howe's next possession ended on a punt, as it was 33-6 at that point. And then Boyd started at their own 22 and had a 73-yard touchdown from Selby to Eder. And that made it a 39-6 score with 3:09 left. Boyd ended up with the football back again. Went 4 plays, 20 yards, and scored on a 1-yard touchdown by Selby before Howe killed the clock on the final drive of the first half. And here we are entering the second half, and Howe trails on a August evening of a bitter cold score of 45-6. That not good. As we welcome in Justin White back to the booth, we'll talk to Malin Walker, our Love Cottage sideline reporter, and I'm not sure if he's made it his way back down on the field. There he is. Malin, talk about the halftime adjustments that needed to be made in the locker room. Where's he at? Hold on. There he goes.
Hello. All right. There we go. Well, to get the full experience of this game, you got to realize what they're doing at the linebackers. They're setting 3 linebackers, 1 in the middle. The 2 outside linebackers are either playing man on the tight end or playing flats. So what that does is if Boyd wants to run up the middle, they only have 5 in the box, 1 linebacker to stop him, and they're not really keeping any safeties back there to stop any big gain. They need to find a way to stop just them getting destroyed in the middle and just go from there. Good things will happen if they follow their orders.
So, they've got to pick up that blitz coming in, and I think that's the inside backer, Jess Withers, who has made an enormous amount of sacks so far tonight, Justin. Justin.
Yeah, he's coming in full speed. Multiple linebackers coming in full speed, and there's just not enough guys to block everybody. And and I wonder if that's too. It's going to be communication between the offensive line, and then Bender's got to be able to see that as well from his point of view, and see if he can get rid of the ball a little bit quicker. And he's got that blitz coming in, make him pay for coming across that line and bringing too many guys.
You see this score, 45-6, Boyd on top of Howe. You got to remember that Howe got a brand new head coach July the 8th.
Yeah.
Didn't have a spring, really didn't have a summer. Got to know these kids when they got there for 2 days, and they don't have 2 days anymore. But
threw together a coaching staff. And
yeah. The good thing is, here's the Tech Wave kickoff, and Howe's going to receive it. Coming up the middle, Garrett Rogers, I believe, and it is. Breaks across the 50, hit hard at the 45, still goes to the 42-yard line. An outstanding return by Garrett Rogers to start the second half. And let's hope that's a sign of things to come in the second half. There's a lot of points you've got to put on the board to get back in this game, but it starts with things like that. Big kick returns, special teams has got to come through.
Yeah, you know, they've had some turnovers in special teams, had one at least, almost had a second one. But when they've fielded the returns, they've had some pretty decent returns. They got into the plus side of the field for the Bulldogs. And we talked about during half, there's some talent on this team. This is not I know the score doesn't indicate it, but there are some good players on this team. Again, they got a coach staff they just threw together, coaches and players trying to get to know each other. And it's going to come together, but it's just going to take some time.
Kendall O'Brien on the field in the slot. Bender's going to run it himself, looking to bunch it out right side. Skips over a man. And there's positive yardage on first down to the 37-yard line. And that is something that Howe didn't have a lot of in the first half, is they were continually played behind the sticks. But now positive yards, and sets up a 2nd down and 6 here on the first drive, and knocks bounds, dots the I in the pistol look.
Got to get this running game going.
Bender sets the formation, tosses to Bounds. Trying to bounce it out left side, can't do it. Cannot turn the corner as Boyd was right there to stop him in his tracks and maybe even lost a couple of yards. Back to the 40-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 3. Sets up 3rd down and 8 for Howe.
When they've got Bounds on the outside and got some of the guards pulling and leading the way, he's had some lanes, some open lanes to run through, just not on that one. So that puts him down 3rd and long.
He lines up in a slot this time. Cross on the slot in the near side. Bender wants to throw quickly over the middle. Cross, caught. And he'll gain a few to the 36 or 7-yard line. They'll give him the 36, I believe. A 4-yard gain for Reich and Cross. We're just underway here in the 3rd quarter, 10:24 and rolling. And Howe trails 45-6.
Nice awareness by Bender. Felt the blitz, got rid of that ball quickly on that slant across the middle of the cross.
No punting tonight. 4th down and 4, and Howe's going to go for it over the middle and sacked. Way back to the 48-yard line. They'll say 45, and that'll be a turnover on downs. As I'm not sure how many times Deacon Bender has been sacked tonight, but he's going to be very sore tomorrow, and he's probably not going to have good memories of his first varsity start.
That was Maddox Parks coming through on the linebacker blitz, and Bender thought about it for just a second, and before he could try to throw it, he had Parks right in his face mask.
First down at 10. Boyd sends a man in motion, which is Hunter Eder. And Young is in at quarterback, and he hands off to the first man through, which is Rawlings, and he is brought down in the backfield. A great play by the Dogs defense.
Alex Mejia leading the way, crashing in on that defense in the backfield. Able to take down the back right away.
3-yard loss for Boyd, and so far, so good for Howe. I know they didn't punch it in there, but at least a good start to the second half. 9:35 on the clock. Young in the gun. We haven't seen Selby. He'll hand off to Rawlings around the right edge, and he'll gain it back to the 44-yard line, shy of the original line of scrimmage. So 3rd down and 11 coming up for the Boyd Yellowjackets.
Boyd trying to keep the ball on the ground right now. Right. I said with a lead of 39, they're going to try to run this clock. And at this point, again, you're trying to get out of here with no injuries as well. But you also got a half of football. This is where you can try to, in real game time, try to work on some things.
Young in the gun. Drops back 3 steps, looks across the middle, fires deep down the right side. 2 Bulldogs right there, and it's going to be intercepted. Is that Stoner again? Stoner's 2nd interception of the night. How about that?
Young just going deep with it. And Stoner playing center field. Free safety able to ball hawk it and bring it down for a 2nd pick of the night.
I'm glad you said ball hawk. So many people say ball hog.
Yeah.
It's not actually correct. It's ball hawk.
Yeah.
Hawk
Ball
with
hawk.
a K. So, scores to pass along. Of course, Gunner won last night down in Houston, 49-44. Yellowjackets leading the Bearcats 28-10. Blue Ridge over Farmersville 27-17. Bender here is going to hand off to Cross on the jet sweep coming near side. Again, positive yards up to the 31-yard line. The original line of scrimmage was a 25.
4 on the play. Second down.
Like trying to establish that run game, and using Cross on that time and a little jet sweep around. And you got different options with Bender at who can run the ball as a quarterback. You got Bounds and Cross.
I'd love to see a heavy dose of inside run from Knox Bounds. 8:11 on the clock here in the third quarter. Man goes in motion as Cross. This is a handoff to Ryland Strong, who gains 3 or 4, but there's a flag down.
Ryland Strong, number 12.
That usually indicates something about the offensive line.
Penalty is against the Bulldogs.
It's a legal motion.
Illegal shift is the
Look like
Illegal shift, yeah.
Illegal shift, yeah. Look like there may be 2 men in motion at the same time.
So that'll back it up 5. And Howe will now have it at the 24-yard line. I'm just coming out of the off season, so if y'all are listening at home wondering why I'm all over the place on yard mark, I'm getting back into it too. Here is Cross on the jet sweep from near side to far. Escapes a couple of defenders. A big run up to the 35-yard line, close to a first down.
Man, that was a dunk. Rocket Cross is not the biggest guy in the world, but he's very slippery, very quick, and just kind of bounced off some guys, went through some arm tackles, and able to fight his way for a first down.
That's an 11-yard run for Cross. And a new set of downs for Howe.
Again, you got these different weapons you can use in the run game. They're utilizing them.
Bender in the pistol behind, or Knox in the pistol behind Bender. He'll get the carry, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. You know, I've complained in years past about the pistol formation, and that there is really why it just
takes so long to.
It does. It takes so long to get to the line of scrimmage. Unless you're Herschel Walker.
Mm-hmm.
You need some blazing speed to make that happen. Second down and 16. Bender and Knox. And Bender's going to roll out right, looking for a block from Knox. Throws it deep down the field. He and Ryland Strong were crossways again as Strong stopped about midfield and Bender heaved it down to about the 35. And it'll be third down and 15.
That stops the clock. They didn't complete pass.
7:12 on that clock. Howe trails 45-6. Needs some points. And really just positive momentum.
You got Bonham next week, who again is that's a winnable game as well. You need some confidence going into that
Remember,
game.
Boyd was 1-9 a year ago. Here's Cross on the jet sweep coming near side. Has a pretty good seam. Leaps up and hits the 35, but a flag is down. He got to the original line of scrimmage, tried to hurdle a defender, but the defender wrapped him up in midair, brought him down. But let's check the flag. It's in the backfield. It's going to be a holding against Howe, which will back it up 10 yards. And the flag is thrown at the 27-yard line, so this could be...
Well, I think they're going to decline it. Boyd's going to decline. It's going to be 4th and 10.
So Garrett Rogers will come on to punt this one away. Away with 7:05 on the clock. So all the up and down the field of the first half has kind of stalled out a little bit here in the second, as we've had a sack that ended Howe's first drive, an interception that ended Boyd's first drive, and now a punt by Garrett Rogers. It goes off the side of his foot. It's a high wobbly kick. It's going to bounce. It just barely goes over the midfield stripe. About a 15-yard punt.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier about this Boyd team who looked pretty good when they played Howe and then rattled off 9 straight losses. And they've only won 2 games in the last 2 years, so Boyd, usually a traditional power, has struggled the last couple of years.
Well, about the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Which is uncharacteristic of their program.
Yeah. Got a new head coach in there this year, so he can turn things around.
Well, obviously he's looking pretty good so far. Handoff up the middle, over right guard, a scramble for the football, but I believe Boyd was able to get back on it at the 47-yard line. Into Howe territory. And I'm not sure that was Parks, but it was. It was Parks on the carry. Brinkley will check in at a slot receiver on the near side. 2nd down and 6, high snap. Brought down by Young. He's going to turn and run with it, and he's hit hard right at the line of scrimmage. No gain, maybe a yard to the 46.
And for what the score is, this defense has sure come out here in the second half, and they're hitting hard.
I was just about to say that.
They're moving, and that's definitely something that you can look at as certainly a silver lining.
3rd down and 6 for Boyd, as Howe may have jumped off
Stay
sides.
with him.
And Young's going to air it deep down the field, looking for his receiver who makes the catch. Right over Van Derrick. And Boyd capitalizes on Howe mistakes again.
Well, at least the defender, I guess that was Derrick in coverage, stayed with the receiver. And that last one where they had the touchdown, the defense stopped, kind of stood still. And Boyd was able to capitalize on it.
That was a good catch as well.
Yeah, he went up over Derrick to make the catch. Here's Young rolling out right. Now he comes the other way and finally slides down. About a yard loss, as there was a lot of running there, but not much doing in the long run. It'll be 2nd down and 11 coming up. 5:16. This third quarter's gone a lot faster than the first one, Mr. White.
Yeah, when they keep the ball on the ground, there's not a lot of incompletions. The clock seems to run.
2nd and 11. Young drops back, left-handed quarterback, looking right, looking left, fires over in the middle, and it's going to be caught for a touchdown. Right on the H in Howe. About 6 yards deep as the receiver was cutting across the middle from right to left. And on the reception was Brinkley. And it was a 17-yard strike.
And Aiden Young had all the time in the world back there in the pocket. He had time to make a phone call and do his homework. And threw a dart across the middle to Brinkley.
So left-handed quarterback named Young. Is that Steve out there? Here's a different kicker, and this one is not even close, as it maybe snuck over the defensive line. Our new score, 100 plus 1 to 6. 4:55 left to go in the third. We'll be back.
All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights is proud to sponsor the pride of Howe High School's Bandsman of the Week. Your hometown Bulldog alumni-owned and operated business is here for all your seamless gutter and outdoor Christmas lights needs. Give them a call at 903-819-9183 and let them make your house shine really bright this Christmas. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Give them a call at 903-819-9183. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights.
It's that time of year again where our beloved radio guy won't shut his trap about how hot it is up here in the press box. Thankfully, the good people at Baker Air Conditioning and Heating cool this thing down in no time.
Roger, we're dying over here.
Speaking of hot air, there he is. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been serving the community of Howe for nearly 60 years. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating is located on Highway 5, and you can call them at 903-532-6255.
Roger!
Welcome back. 4:55 remaining in the third, and Boyd just scored again. Your Kingdom Inflatable scoring drive recap for Boyd. 4 plays, 51 yards, capped off by a 17-yard touchdown pass from Young to Brinkley. And our new score, 51-6 at Bulldog Stadium. Boyd will be kicking off here on your Tech Wave kickoff. And it'll be Easton Burnett doing the kicking chores. Falling on it on a squib kick is Deacon Bender, the sophomore. No, that's not Deacon Bender. That's not
Garibay. That was Nathan Garibay.
Nathan Garibay.
40-yard line.
Garibay falls on it. And Howe will set up shop from their own 40 with 4:55 left to go. So, Justin, what does Howe got to do?
That's a good question. That I should know.
To get some momentum going. I mean,
I think getting the run game going. I like what they were doing there in this last possession. They were having some positive runs from Strong and Cross. Again, right now you're trying to get momentum to go into next week, and work on some things for next week.
I guess there's Bounds running the sweep on the right side after getting a toss. Runs hard to the 40, but that only picks up one. I was going to say that, the lack of seeing the Knox Bounds number of carries is, I think I was expecting a lot more in regard to, and getting behind early certainly plays a hand into that. It takes away a lot of your intentions of your run game, but maybe they can rely on Knox a little bit here to run behind the shoulder pads, chew up some of this clock, and find some momentum.
And that will kind of take some pressure off Bender when you've got to respect a guy like Bounds.
2nd down and 9 as the linebackers are creeping up, and here's Bender running for his life and brought down. And again, it's Withers, the linebacker. And they've had no answer up the middle for the linebacker blitz. And they're putting out a lot of film right here for others to see. If you're going to get in the sophomore quarterback's head, that middle linebacker blitz is eating Howe alive all night long.
You said earlier that things are already going fast for Bender just being on varsity, but let alone then you have a blitz coming at you just about every other play. That's really got to speed things up for him, and he's got to learn quickly. Baptism by fire.
Cross on the jet sweep. Bender pulls it out of his gut. He's going to run up close to the 45-yard line. They'll spot him at the 44. That was a pretty good 8-yard run, but it's still 3rd down and 6.
4th down now.
4th down and 6. And again, the punt team has to come back on. 3:07 on the clock as it continues to roll here in the 3rd quarter. Boyd leads 51-6.
That play, they've had some positive plays with Bender faking that jet sweep and running up the middle. He's had some positive yards on that formation.
Good snap back to Rogers. This time end over end low kick. Nearly hits Kendall O'Brien, but it's going to take a big, huge roll. Very nice, as Boyd is going to have to start from inside their own 15 at the 13-yard line after that big punt by Garrett Rogers. He makes up for that 15-yarder a moment ago.
From the 13-yard line.
Puts them deep in their own territory. Yeah,
and they have not had to start deep in their own territory very much tonight.
If I'm right, the 22 was their worst start.
So I think you think about all the things you kind of gift wrap for them. Field position, turnovers, not able to adjust on the blitz.
Yeah, they've had no answer for the blitz.
It's like you just had not made a lot of adjustments.
Wheeler comes split out on the near side, and boy, Howe makes a great play on there on 1st down. Howe says they have the football inside the 10, and they do. Fumble by Boyd, and Howe could sneak on the board here if they can keep forward momentum going inside the 10.
I don't know if Malin saw that. It looked like some confusion there between the quarterback and the running back on that handoff.
Yeah, a bobbled snap, and they let it go. I think Brevin Mayo just got on it right before they all went down.
So talk about things gift wrap for you. Bulldogs get a turnover deep in Boyd territory now.
2:29 on the clock here in the third quarter. And Howe with a chance inside the 10-yard line. First and goal. Bender sends a man in motion, and that's Cross, and Bender's going to run it himself. He should have given it to Cross as he's buried right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. And Howe needs some positive yards here. They're not playing behind the sticks, but it's second down and goal from the 10. As we're just about at the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. Back in the pistol look. Bender wants to throw in the corner of the end zone. He just overshoots Ryland Strong. Just over the fingertips of him on the near front corner of the end zone. It'll be third down and goal from the 10.
Strong had 3 gold jerseys behind him as he ran right along the goal line and just couldn't. He has pretty good touch. Bender has pretty good touch when he floats that ball. Just could float it over the outstretched hands of Strong.
Gotta have so many jitters in this game as a sophomore.
And I think he might have just felt the pressure as well.
I think so.
Third and goal from the 10. And a fumble. It was a jet sweep with Cross coming over, and he did not hand it to him in a bobbled exchange, and Boyd has the football at their own 10.
That was the exact same scenario that just happened to Boyd not too long ago. The exact same.
That's what I thought too. I thought that looked very familiar. Bobbled snap on the jet sweep.
And Howe with the first and goal could not capitalize. And
Is that the 5th turnover tonight? 4th, 5th? I mean,
I'd have to count it up. We see Braden Ulmer entering the stands. There's a familiar face from Bulldog history. Not too long ago history. Handoff up the middle. And Boyd is going to gain. That's Rawlings on the carry. Up to about the 14-yard line. So a 4-yard gain for Rawlings on first down. And the clock still rolls at 1:27, Justin.
Yeah, that's going to hurt having a gift given to you right inside the 20-yard line, inside the 15-yard line, and not able to do anything with it, to put something on the board.
Yeah, first and goal from the 10. Boyd taking their time now as we're at the 1:07 mark. It still rolls. Young will hand off up the middle. Rawlings tries to cut. He's going to be buried behind the line of scrimmage. No flags down as Howe really swarmed the football there.
Nice gang tackle by the white jerseys, the white hats.
So it's 3rd and 7 for the Boyd Yellowjackets, all in gold. And they'll send 3 receivers out to the left. Their right, our left.
In no hurry either.
No hurry. They look to the sidelines awaiting the play. They're just dragging out this play clock here, which is down to 9, 8. And now they come up to the line of scrimmage. Young in the gun with 15 seconds remaining in the third. Drops back, left-handed quarterback. Rolls out of the pocket. He's going to tuck it and run. Escapes 1 tackler, 2 tacklers, and finally brought down by a number of white jerseys at the 20-yard line. I don't think that's enough for a first, but that's going to end the third quarter. 51-6, Boyd in the lead over Howe. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back after this.
Anchors with a Z Boat and RV Storage is located 1 mile off of U.S. Highway 75 in Howe, Texas. Anchors Boat and RV Storage is proud to bring personal, small-town customer service to the growing area of North Texas. With both open and covered parking available, locally owned and operated, members of the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce and the Texas Self-Storage Association. Anchors Boat and RV Storage has 20 amp power available and is manager occupied at 311 Old Highway 6 in Howe. Visit anchorsboatrvstorage.com or call 903-444-2500.
No one wants to talk about losing a loved one. The grief that is put on your family is troublesome. Scoggins Funeral Home strives to make that most difficult time the easiest. We want your loved one to be sent off in the best way possible, with your wishes at heart. Call us at 903-482-5225 or visit our website at scogginsfuneralhome.com. 903-482-5225. Our location on Van Alstyne Parkway makes everything close for your needs. 903-482-5225. Scoggins Funeral Home.
Fourth quarter time in Howe, Texas. 51-6. Bulldogs trail Boyd here. And the Yellowjackets have a new set of downs at the 20-yard line. Headed now towards the south end zone. Young bounces out. He's got a lot of room in front of him. He's got the 40 cut down right there. As Howe looked to have him trapped in the backfield on a little quarterback plunger up the middle, but he sidestepped to his left and found a lot of room, and another first down up to the 40 on a 20-yard gain.
Yeah, a lot of speed. A lot of speed there by quarterback and some poor tackling by the Bulldogs.
Malin's getting his steps in tonight. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, from left to right to left to right.
Are you keeping track of that, Malin?
You know, I'm just getting my steps in. I need some exercise too.
Well, you're about, I don't know, 30, 40 pounds less than what you were on this field.
That's for sure.
1st and 10, handoff up the middle, brought down immediately. A great play by the defense there. Is Garrett No, that's Mejia who makes the tackle.
He has made some plays tonight. He's been the backfield a few times.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, he has definitely been one of the bright spots. And this defensive line as a whole has struggled at times, but there's definitely been some spots. I mean, Griffo and Mejia, like we just mentioned, they've both had solid games.
Well, let's not forget that Boyd is a larger enrollment school. They are 3A Division I.
True.
Whereas Howe is 3A Division II. And not to sidestep, you know.
At least you wrote 4A on your board.
What's that?
You wrote 4A on your board. I don't know if that's right.
No, that's not right. That's
okay.
District 4. Here is a handoff up the middle. Rawlings is met in the backfield. Nothing doing there. Right at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Well, actually, they'll give him a yard to the 40. The defensive line doing a much better job here in the second half.
What were you saying earlier about the enrollment?
Well, I don't know exactly what Boyd's enrollment is, but it's enough to get them in the 3A Division I.
Yeah. Which is too early to start talking about the enrollment coming up here in February, the alignment. Will the Bulldogs be in Division II again?
They've got some classes that can keep them under.
Yeah.
I think there's another chance to stay in Division II. Quick pass out, goes in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Young tried to hit Jet Lamance, and he threw it right over his head. Lamance also a contender to play quarterback a little bit in Boyd. A sophomore, was a JV quarterback a year ago, and it's kind of a triple threat. But it's 4th down here for Boyd. I don't even know if they have a punt team.
I don't think we've seen it tonight.
We have not seen it, and I don't know that we're going to see it here. It's 4th down and 11, and now I think Young drops back. He's going to try to boot this one away. Is he a left-footed punter? Of course he is. A low spiral. It's going to take a great bounce towards the Howe end zone, and it's going to stop inside the 10. Of course it is.
I know, one of those nights.
Howe cannot catch a break. My goodness. So they'll have it, but they'll have it at their own 10 instead of at the Boyd 10 as they had it a moment ago and couldn't get any yards at the Boyd 10.
Well, we focused so much on the negative. Have we seen any positive things tonight?
The Ryland Strong rundown of the
yes
of the touchdown was amazing to me.
And the Ryland Strong catch as well.
True. Yeah.
Eli Stoner's play has been good.
A couple of picks.
Yeah.
Knox Bounce has had some decent runs.
He has had some good runs. He just hadn't had a lot of carries. Bender, he'll get the carry here along the right side. He'll lower his shoulder, run behind the shoulder pads. That'll get you 4 yards up to the 14-yard line.
But it's good to have him back, Knox Bounce, because I didn't know with Braden Ulmer graduating, I kind of wondered who's going to step into the Garrett Rogers kind of came on last year a little bit later on at running back. But
well, what we all thought is that with Knox Bounds gone, that would open up the lead role for Braden Ulmer. And it did not happen that way, as Garrett Rogers was the starting running back for the first 3, 4, 5 games. But they finally went to BU later in the season, and too little too late at that point. Trying to run for his life is Ryland Strong, and he's unable to get around the edge and trapped inside the 10, back to the 8-yard line. That'll be a loss.
So Bounds kind of came in at the right time when they really need a running back. No offense to Rogers, but Bounds had some decent stats a couple of years ago.
Bender is going to have his feet somewhere near the goal line when he snaps it, when he is back in the gun here. He's going to scoot up a little bit. His feet will actually be about the 4. Handoff to Cross on the jet sweep, and he'll make his way out to the 16-yard line. Not enough for a first down.
Gain of about 8 on the play.
Here goes the punt team again.
And Rogers will come out to boot it away.
Rogers getting a lot of work tonight.
You know, his Rogers' grandfather was Tommy Robertson, who played running back here for Howe back in the 60s.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he was the punter.
Yeah.
But very similar, from what I understand, very similar athletes. But he'll stand with his heels on the 5 to punt this one away on 4th and 4. And he does boot a pretty good kick here, end over end. Low line drive going to be taken at the 47-yard line, running left. Hit hard, somehow keeps his feet for about another yard. And the Yellowjackets will start at the 36-yard line in Howe territory.
Maybe Garrett Rogers came in and made that initial hit that slowed the returner down.
7:19 on the clock left to go in this football game. And it's been a long game.
This is a long game.
What do we got? 10 o'clock almost?
The first quarter was really...
The first quarter took forever.
It took a while.
It took a while. First and 10 for Boyd, left to right. All the gold jerseys bunched together on the left side. Young will hand off to Rawlings, and a flag is down before this one gets underway. Just as we were talking about the game picking up speed-wise, and here come the flags. Sometimes in these early games, we've seen over the years that the officials like to get heavily involved in August games. Maybe they feel like they need to help the teams get cleaned up, some of the things they're doing. I've seen that over the years. Haven't had a lot of that tonight.
No, it's not been horrible.
Well, you got to be careful because it's not too late for them to start.
Yeah,
this is true.
Don't speak it into existence.
We have 7 minutes left. Rawlings gets the carry. Left tackle breaks through for a moment, slides through another defender, on his way to the 10, on his way to the 7. Good run there by Rawlings of about 29 yards. And Boyd ain't done yet.
That was a good run, and again, a lot of poor tackling by the Bulldogs. Hard run by the carrier on that one.
Boyd brings over here a pretty good crowd. Not a packed house on the far side by any stretch of the imagination, but a good, decent crowd, especially for the amount of miles that are in between. That's not as many miles in between when you forget all your chords as we did. I did last year. Snap back, handoff on the jet sweep, slicing through the middle, down at the 1 yard line. And that was Lamance again on the jet sweep. And they'll scurry up to the line of scrimmage. High snap, brought down, handoff again into the end zone, touchdown Boyd. And I think that's Lamance, and it is. I think it's the same play.
Yeah, they haven't moved quickly much the second half, but did that time as they got to the goal line and quickly got into formation and then ran the exact same play, another jet sweep, and go in for the score.
Hey, early on, Malin, I want to ask you, we talked about the dejectedness of the Howe Bulldogs right before the half, and here's a busted play on the extra point. Lamance is going to try to run it from the holder position, and he stopped short. 57-6 will be our new score. But Malin, real quick, we'll keep it here through the break. Was there any change at all in the players' demeanor as they came back on the field for the second half as opposed to how they left the first half?
You know, the only thing that really stood out to me as different is the defensive line. They've just been firing on all cylinders, but, you know, sometimes it's to their detriment. You know, they're getting too far behind the play and they're taking themselves out of plays. But it's effort, and I'm in love with it. It's great, but they just need to be smart about it.
So your Kingdom Inflatable scoring drive recap for Boyd was 3 plays and 36 yards. Seen a lot of those. Not very many plays and not very many yards.
A lot of big plays and then a couple of runs inside the 5.
Boy, is it me or maybe it's the white jerseys, but Kendall O'Brien looks like he got much thicker since last year. He's starting to look like a linebacker. He's a biscuit away from a linebacker, I can tell you that.
Maybe been in that weight room. Hopefully that's because of the weight room.
5:40 left to go in this game. And Howe's going to get the football back. At least they're expected to here on the Tech Wave kickoff.
Yeah, the kickoffs have been when they've been able to field it correctly, they've had some pretty decent returns, but it's just making sure you cover.
You know, we had great dreams tonight, you know, the way you think this thing is going to end. Here's the Tech Wave kickoff. It's another squibber. It's going to be taken by Bender at the 45-yard line, and Howe will start there. You know, but when you wake up this morning, you think, gosh, okay, tonight, you plan it all out, right? Tonight, during the post-game show, I'm going to run down to the field. I'm going to take my app with me, and Coach Smith's going to turn on the victory light for the first time, the first game of being a head coach, and all will be merry. But then you realize, hey, there's a lot of work to do here. He took a job in a football program that was in disarray at the time, and has been through a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
Over the past several years. Here's Bender, throws it out right side, caught, making a move, coming near side. Ryland Strong, if he gets in the clear, look out. He's in the clear for a moment. 40 down the sideline, 30. And he'll finally be skipped out of bounds at the 21-yard line, but there is a flag on the play at the line of scrimmage. It's in the area of Large Marge, who's still back there, and also I believe that's Griffo. And it is going to be against Howe. They'll bring it back. So all for naught on the Ryland Strong. Big run down the sidelines.
Yeah, I mean, you think about Coach Smith. He hadn't even been here 60 days.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And to, you know, maybe you think, okay, that the article that I wrote for the Howe Enterprise this past week, you know, did that put too much pressure? Is it, you know, did I misread everything? But I'm telling you, Howe is going to be way better off having Coach Smith at the helm, and hopefully for a long, long, long time. Handoff to Cross on the jet sweep. Skips over defender, trying to find that far sideline. He's fast too, and he'll race out to the 44-yard line. He'll gain some of that yardage back that got called back for holding. He'll make it up to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, and I think it's a matter of time. I mean, I think the difference with Coach Smith that we haven't had here in the last few years is he's got some skins on the wall. He's won a state championship as a player. He's been around some winning programs, been around some winning cultures.
We hadn't even brought up Sam Harrell.
No. So
How do you get through this game without mentioning Sam Harrell?
We've had a lot of opportunities to do so. it just hadn't come up. But, I mean, I think that's being a leader like that and being around some of those winning programs, I think that's got to translate somehow, some way. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get there.
You know, Howe is blessed to have Jake Smith as their head coach. And you're right, the skins on the wall that he brings in here and the experience that he has, and not only him, but his coaching staff. You're talking about guys like Jordan Barnes, who's been in it for a while and had some success. I mean, to expect it to happen on opening night is kind of ridiculous once you think about it. But here's Bender, throws it out. Somehow it's caught. He was just throwing it away. I made, I think, a ill-conceived pass down the field, but right there to make the catch for Howe.
Pass completed. Number 22, Caden Thomas.
Was Caden Thomas, and he was just Johnny on the spot.
I know.
I think Bender he was tired of getting sacked. He just threw it.
That's kind of what I've been wanting him to do. Maybe not that ill-advised, but just kind of throwing it away as opposed to taking the sack. That time he had just a millisecond later and could able to get rid of it.
For a sophomore, that's the first kind of ill-advised decision that we've seen from him.
True.
Which is kind of remarkable for someone of his age. Here's a handoff to Cross, who gets a first down. Past the 45-yard line to the 44 into Boyd territory.
Yeah, and I do think Bender, being this his first game as a quarterback, I do think he's actually done quite well with what he's been asked to do, especially because a lot of these struggles have been on the offensive line, not being able to recognize the blitz.
It's been tough going up the middle, that's for sure. And he hasn't had a lot of time to think when the ball gets in his hands at times. He takes it right up the middle here, and he'll gain 4 yards to the 40. They may actually just give him 3 to the 41. But I think he's done a remarkable job in his first game as a sophomore.
Well, and you think about it, I mean, Ryland Strong was the quarterback here. So for a sophomore to come in and take his spot, I mean, he's got to have something if he was that good to bring in, take over a starter from last year.
Flag down just as this one gets underway. We're at the 2:49 mark here in the game. Boyd leads 57-6. We'll see what the call is. It's going to be on Howe.
I think it was a false start.
So back it up.
Well, at least with this game, guys, we're getting out at a decent hour compared to last year. Remember, we had the issue with the cords. We had a lightning delay. It felt like we didn't get home till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it was a long night. Bender's going to keep it over left tackle, bounces it out. He's got the 40. He's got the 35, and out of bounds there, shy of a first down. That'll bring up third and a manageable 2 or 3 at the 35-yard line, maybe 1.
All I remember last year is getting to the stadium and thinking, man, I'm right here on time. Next thing I know, I'm driving down Wise County back roads, found myself in a Decatur Walmart.
And you did not get hazard pay. Whistles before this one can get underway.
And then luckily Jake brought his Bluetooth headphones that day.
Well, we would not have had a broadcast without you, Jake.
That will go down as an all-time
I'll never forget that.
infamous broadcast.
Yeah, infamous is the word. There's a $1:59 left to go in this football game. But let's think about, 35 years ago this season, Howe had a brand new coach. His name was Joey McQueen. He started in his first entrance into Howe. He started 2-a-days at midnight, 12:01 to be exact, because he wanted to be the first team to start in Howe. So he had a midnight practice to start the season. They opened their season at Leonard and did not play well, and were 0-1, and then went 0-2, and then went 1-2, and then went 1-3. That team, under their new head coach, ended up 3 rounds deep.
Wow.
So just because you have got some, chains in your spokes here to start the season doesn't mean that it's over. It means you're just beginning. As long as you learn from these things, Bender has the first down and more, and he may break out of this thing. What a run by Bender. My goodness. He turns a little quarterback sneak into about an 8-yard pickup. Holy cow.
Was just trying to get the first down on 3rd and short and just kept pushing those legs.
If he's able to do that, and I'm going to guess that's an 11-yard gain. I'm going to guess he's probably, 170 at the most?
Maybe, yeah.
His senior year, he's going to be 210. What is he going to be able to do at that point? Here's Bounds, who's trapped, breaks a tackle, and he's captured by all kinds of gold jerseys. It's going to be a loss of about 2.
Bounds, the ball carrier.
A minute 15 left to go in the game. But you talk about, and it's way too early to talk about what's down the road, but you think about the future of Bender. Ryland Strong, what's he going to be like a year from now?
Yeah. Wrecking Cross.
Oh, my goodness. They've got some serious skill players.
And Jacob Griffo, who comes off the field, has played a pretty good game over at right tackle and then on defensive line, defensive end.
2nd down and 14. Bender's going to keep it again. Left tackle breaks through again. He's got the 18-yard line before he's finally slammed down to the turf as his feet were taken out from under him by Lamance. Not enough for a first, but he keeps moving the yardstick to where it's closer to the first down stick.
Oh, there's a holding on Howe.
Well, he's going to need some help.
Penalty is called against the Bulldogs.
And again, it's kind of hard to see the yellow hanky out there because of all the yellow shoes out there. A lot of the starters for Boyd are not on the field anymore, so all the starters had gold toes, but there's some white toes in there now. 2nd down and 14 for Howe, as we have 31 seconds remaining in this football game. Bender wants it, gets it, busted play.
Yep.
Rolling out to his right, and it's finally brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 33-yard line. That play did not look good from the get-go. He was trying to put people in position that weren't there.
Yeah, looked to his right, and Bounds was on his left.
That's going to be the final play of the game, and this puppy is in the record books. And not in the greatest of record books for Howe. 57 points given up on opening night. Not the most ever given up on opening night. That was 71 back in 1992 to Van Alstyne. And the scoreboard has officially gone out.
Thank you for your support. Everyone have a
went out so we don't have to remember this. But,
well, let's. You're entering now the Texas Land and Home Team postgame show. We're going to take a quick time out. We will see if Malin Walker will interview Jake Smith after the game, and maybe Deacon Bender perhaps to see, get his perspective on his first game and how fast the game was going. Because I imagine the game was going so fast for him. But we'll have Malin talk to Deacon Bender. We'll have Malin talk to Jake Smith. We'll take a quick time out. We'll be back in the Texas Land and Home Team postgame show.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the school song. I'm going to ask Jake to go down to the dungeon. We have a stereo. Do you remember where the stereo is in the dungeon?
It's like right underneath here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can just turn that off before they lock us out.
Okay.
So, the Boyd Yellowjackets turn and wait for Howe to do their school song, and now they'll turn to their crowd for theirs. I like the classiness involved from the schools these days. You know, that's kind of a new thing that's happened over the past 3, 4, 5 years, I think.
About that, yeah. It seems like it's been recent that schools do that.
Yeah. And I know that, well, the players are exiting pretty quickly. I don't know if Malin had a chance to grab Coach Smith.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to go home, forget about this, come back Saturday, watch some film, and grow from there.
Yeah. You can't hardly blame them after a loss like this. Not a lot of coaches or players want to talk after a 57-6 loss.
Usually they'll kind of be out in the field, kind of giving a speech from the coaches, but yeah, they're heading straight to the locker rooms.
Yeah.
So
there's no hanging around talking to mom and dad with the Jake Smith era. Those days are gone.
You know, and maybe that's not a bad thing.
That's
it's
not a
like,
bad thing.
Hey, I'm mad. We're not going to talk to parents right now. You can do that afterwards.
You know,
Let's get in the locker room.
I've always said that for so long, even though I enjoyed my time to go out there and visit with Malin after the game. Even though Malin didn't want any part of it. but I at least wanted to go out there and have, you know, a moment with him and all that stuff, because parents don't get that moment all the time. But you're exactly right. These players, that's the last thing on their mind. And Malin was very much like that. He did not want anything to do with that, because Malin cared.
Yeah.
And he did not like losing. And talking to him after a loss was, you know, not very pleasant. Sometimes, after a win, you'd get a smile. Sometimes. But Malin, sum this up for us. I know I'm kind of rambling on here a little bit about, you know, back in your days and all of that. But talk about, you know, you've gone through this. What are they going to have to do to recover, and what are they going to hear from Coach Smith?
Well, the only thing you can take away from this is you can grow. You have to grow if you want to win football games. There's been a lot of mistakes on this field. There's been a lot of good things. This is not a bad football team. They just have to grow and develop, and the coaching staff has to take steps in order to develop those players, and the players have to want to be developed. Coaches can't make players out of nothing. The players have to help themselves too. That's what we don't understand about this game.
That's a very good point, and right there's Coach Simmons. See if Coach Simmons will talk to you.
Hey Coach, will you interview? Can I get an interview? Sure.
I think he's going to grab Coach Simmons. Go ahead.
Okay, Coach, I got you here on the net. This wasn't really the outcome we expected for Coach Smith's first game. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, a lot of times it happens when it is the first game, because our coaches are getting used to our kids. Kids are getting used to them. Bring in the new system, new things. They're learning about who can play the positions the best. There's a lot of things going on right now, educationally, beyond the pads popping. So it's not unusual for this to happen. I think as this year goes on, you're going to see a lot of our kids really starting to maybe move around some in positions. They may move around some in coaches understand, hey, what we can do with this one is better, it's better. They're going to learn a lot about each other. So they just need to keep going hard and getting the best shape they can and full speed ahead. I think it can be very good.
Hey, ask him about being a coach. What do he think Coach Smith is telling his players right now?
You know, you've had that coaching experience before. What do you think Coach Smith is telling that locker room right now?
Encouragement. He's encouraging them, because I think Coach Smith is an encourager. And he's not going to belittle them or berate them. He's going to encourage them. And that's what they need, and that's what I'm proud of him for doing. Encouragement is what they need now, and like I said, learning each other, learn about each other, and just keep working full speed ahead. Every week you get in better shape. Every week you get a little stronger. You get to move faster. Like I said, learning each other and keep their chin up, encouragement. And that's what Coach Smith, I think, is really going to be good at.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, Malin gets a hug from Coach Simmons there. All right. Hey, good job, Malin.
But I think he's right. I think that Coach Smith coming in, kind of changing the mentality here of like, you know, there have been some lean years here last few years, and then a lot of things going on, and just kind of changing the mentality and changing the culture here. Like, hey guys, I'm not used to losing. I don't want to come in here and, you know, we're not going to be losers here. So we're going to have a winning mentality, try to encourage them, still trying to figure each other out, but just trying to change the culture around here.
Well, I think Coach Simmons nailed it on the head. What you're going to get and what you know what you're not going to get is your kids are not going to be dog cussed over a loss like this, or any loss for that matter. That's not the philosophy of how this coaching staff works, and they're led by a very, very, very fine man in Jake Smith. And for a parent to have their kid, you know, I'd give my eye teeth for my kid to play for Jake Smith. I'm not kidding you. And, you know, the parents of these players, you know, their kids are going to be better off for being in the locker room in moments just like this around Jake Smith, because you don't always get to experience the joys of winning and getting those moments with the coach. It's somewhat more important of how your kid responds to a man during a loss and the hard times, because you've got to go through the hard times to get through the good times. They had a hard time tonight. Ain't no question about it. 57-6, our final score tonight. We're going to wrap it up in your Texas Land and Home Team postgame show. I want to thank everyone who's been a part of this one. Hey, do we want to give stats? Wait a minute. Where's the boss? The Braz. The Braz.
Wow.
That's good. The Baz. Hey, I've got OU on my mind tomorrow. You want to go ahead and give us some final stats for tonight before we wrap it up?
Yeah.
He's got I think he's got a microphone. He's got his headsets on.
He's listening.
Oh, here we go. He's going to put on the headset. Let me hold that.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go. For Howe, we have ended up on passing 11 of 19 for 111 yards.
You know, 11 of 19 is not bad.
Yeah, it's not, really.
Yeah. 40 rushes for 74 yards. So we had a total of 185 yards for the game. Some of the rushing-wise, Knox Bounds had 10 for 35. Rack and Cross 6 for 33. Eli Stoner 1 for 9. Deacon 22 for 3. He was in the negatives in the last couple drives.
Yeah.
He got some positive yards out of it. Passing wise, like I mentioned, he was 11-19, 111 yards, 1 TD, and 1 interception. Receiving wise, Ryland Strong had 4 for 93 yards and a touchdown. Stoner 1 for 11. Thomas 1 for 5. That was the one where he kind of was there.
Yeah, yeah.
Rock and Cross 5 for 2 yards, and so it's. I guess we need a little bit better offense.
Well, it's going to happen. And Bender playing in his very first game, his very first pass of his career was picked off.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, he was running for his life quite a bit.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sure how many sacks. I'm not sure how many sacks he had, but he was on the ground a lot. You made a mention about Troy Aikman's rookie year, and that was about the same.
Yeah, I remember those 11 sacks in that Philly game, Aikman's rookie year. That's what it felt like tonight. It was a rough night for Bender with that blitz coming up the middle.
Yes, it was. That's from the House side. From Boyd, I'll go over them real quick for them. We don't want to really.
We've got some Boyd listeners, perhaps.
But passing-wise, it was 15 for 24 for 253. They had 38 rushes for 164, 357 yards total.
So, the numbers aren't as lopsided, nearly as close as the scoreboard, and what that indicates is turnovers and some more turnovers.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, it's one thing you get beat, but when you give away turnovers and things like that, that didn't help things.
That's where you look in the mirror and you're not real happy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, and I'm sure your charts will show it, but as far as points off turnovers they had.
It was a lot.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was
it
almost
had to be at least 3 touchdowns.
I mean, think about
minimum.
it. First quarter, it was 28-6. At the end of the first quarter.
Yeah. Well, no highlights for the end of the game. We did do highlights at the half, and we'll push out some highlights tomorrow at some point on YouTube. So for everyone who's been a part of this one, for Malin Walker, our sidelines guy, our Love Cottage sidelines guy.
Good job. Did a good job tonight.
Jake Roberts, our engineer, Stephen Braswell on stats, and Justin White, a color analyst. I'm Monty Walker. So long, everybody, from Bulldog Stadium. It's the 82nd home opener, and I do not have an outro, do I? I do.
You've been listening to the Texas Land and Home Realty Team post-game show. Howe Bulldogs football is a product of Studio 42. The full replay of the game will be available within minutes on this same link on YouTube. Howe Bulldogs football is brought to you by Scoggins Funeral Home, Baker Air Conditioning and Heating, South State Bank, GCEC, Sonic of Howe. Also brought to you by Brother Plumber, Rock Hill Investments, MTE Fence, Centurion American, Ed Meacham State Farm, Rapid Electric. Also brought to you by All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights, TechWave, First Baptist Church of Howe, Kingdom Inflatables, Anchors Boat and RV Storage, The Love Cottage. Also brought to you by Howe Athletic Booster Club, Michelle Carney Photography, Texoma Land and Home Team, The Crazy AC Guy.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all. Are they doing